Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast, Rapid Sparks. Coming to you right now. It is live, 3:53 Best Coast time. There is a slight timeout. There has been a phenomenal fight going on. We actually almost thought about holding for a few minutes, but we are in the very beginning of Cosce versus Palatnikov, and thus far, it has been a barn burner. Both of these guys look like they've probably been gassed about 4 or 5 times within the span of about 7 minutes worth of fight time. So we have a phenomenal night worth of fights. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you're pumped. I hope I don't know what you get for fight night. I'm not really in charge of that sort of thing, but we'll be doing fight companion analysis all throughout the evening. Of course, you know me, it's Rafa Sparza, host of Verbal Tap and Grappling Hour. So grab a beer, enjoy yourself. Tonight, we are brought to you by a Triple India Pale Ale, and it's Enonono, or Enonono. If you guys know how to pronounce this one better than I do, please have at. It's a pleasure to see you guys. As usual, the rules are as follows. If you give us a like and a share on Facebook, we will give you a toast on air, just like we do the fighters who get finishes within regulation. If you also give us a subscription on YouTube, we will give you a toast, just like the folks who appear to get them. I also want to say hello to our friends Kevin Bradley, Devon Bam Bam Smith. That's a great nickname, reminiscent of the immortal Bam Bam Bigelow. Anyway, I mean, if you're looking at this fight right now, and I hope that you are, I hope that you are enjoying this. Dane Donovan, good to see you, bro. You are seeing just two savages go at it, and this is how we're starting the card. So this is already putting me into a phenomenal mood, and I love that Dane's already saying, here we go indeed, my friend. This is already off to the races. I am very much enjoying what we are seeing here. I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying what we're seeing here. I almost put in the description, the prelims are headlined by this fight just because it's so massively good in its very beginnings thus far in. Anyway, throughout the evening, we also count on you guys to keep part of this conversation going. So if you put something into the chat, just like Dane did a second ago, we integrate that into the show. We're more than happy to make you guys part of what we call the whole experience here at the Grappling Hour. But if you are watching this right now and you are finding that your head hurts from just watching how many punches you've seen in this fight thus far in, you are not alone, because it's only been the first 2 rounds of the night, and we are already seeing a bloody mess between both of these gents. And you are seeing Cosce looking all the rage on the face as he is pressing forward, and Palatnikov was in danger at several points during this, but he has just been a massive pummeling machine within the past 5 minutes or so. So you're looking at 14-57 for Cosce, but then if you're looking at Palatnikov's striking record, it is looking much better. Also, let's give a little shout out to the Ultimate Warrior with these colors that he's got, the neon, both green and pink there. So it's reminiscent of the early 80s pro wrestling era. That's what I got going on right now. This fight is both confusing, exhausting, amazing, captivating. There's a jumping knee that's followed by a series of 1-2s in the end of that. It does look like Palatnikov was noticing to the ref, or at least trying to tell him, like, hey, dude, he is hitting the back of my head. I'd appreciate it if maybe we could cut down on that, and rightfully so. Let's go ahead and take a little survey here. I wanted to see, we've gotten some folks who have shared this, one of whom is Dane Donovan. Dane, we have you now written down to do a toast in a little bit, so don't go too far. In a little bit, we also will be joined by our good friend, one Dan Hubler. That is pending on a little bit. We're going to give him some time because, you know, we're here for the long haul, guys. This is how this little game goes. We get excited, we do the thing, we stick around for hours, we get beers in hand, we make it a fun experience for all. So I'm going to try this one right now. Again, this is a 10%. So when I said I'm going to be on air for 6 hours, what's the smartest thing to drink? I don't know. Something with 10% alcoholic beverage content into it. Can't hurt, right? That is good. It was not exactly what I want it to be. But yeah, I feel it, and I feel it's good. So I'm going to enjoy that throughout the evening. Hope you guys have a tasty beverage. If you are joining and you are drinking something, tell me what you're drinking in the comment section. I won't judge. It's not what we're here for. We're here to engage and motivate and get through these things. I'm now back with the fights. I have 4:45 in the 3rd round left to go. And you're seeing Cosce working very closely for a takedown here. He now has been switched And Palatnikov is working on some knees against the cage. Referee looking very intently to see if there's anything funny about the positioning here. He does call for a slight timeout. So he does push him back over to the corner. I wonder if he's just going to have him checked. No, he's talking Palatnikov. He says, if you do it again, I'm going to do something about it. I can't tell if maybe he was grabbing the fence or whatever. We'll have to figure out what that is in a second. Ooh, Palatnikov stuffs a beautiful takedown attempt by Cosce. Yeah, I mean, just watching his takedown defense, it's been money. You see Cosce looking for a snatch single there, does not get it, has to give it up. It's a fascinating fight between the two of these gents thus far in. Both of them also have very strange tattoos, if we're being honest. Cosce's tattoos in the upper chest region look like they're from the third level of Super Mario Brothers 3 as the background art, if we're being honest. Palatnikov has Cosce pressed up against the cage. Cosce retaliates with a few knees on the inside of his own, but then Palatnikov still just kind of bullying him around. Great clinch work from both of them, gents, if we're being honest. They let go, and you see Palatnikov go with the spinning back kick, which reminds me, we also need to mark those who have participated in the fight game. We do a fight pick'em every major pay-per-view, and we want to make sure we close that window in. So look and double check here. Boom. As we snapshot these, so that way people cannot cheat throughout. It's just a little bit of housekeeping that we do here, fam. Hope you are completely understanding what we have to do. But as you see, boom, we have snapshot or screenshotted all of the fight results so that people cannot come in at the very end and say that they knew who was going to win. Eek. And in the time I was screenshotting that, there is a low blow. Eek. No, there wasn't any maliciousness to it. It just feels malicious. We are definitely seeing Palatnikov in pain here. What a time. They've also now started using a red clock to let you know how much time he has taken. And Cosce is taking a nice seat over on his side. Sounds like underneath there's a disco party at my downstairs neighbor. So this will be fun to hear throughout the evening. It just means I'm going to have to talk louder. And I'm sure as I have more beer, we will be talking much, much louder. Dane Donovan says, in the meantime, these guys are leaving it all out there. I would have to agree. Speaking of leaving it all out there, I think it's time that we check in with our betting lines. Let's go ahead and do our little check in with our good friend, one Dan Hubler.
Bitch better have my money. Bitch better have my money. Baby, what you want me? Bitch better have my money.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show, one Dan Hubler. Dan, how are you doing, sir?
What's up, man? Good to be back. It's been a couple weeks.
It has been a couple weeks, and you know what? I mean, here's what I could say. It does seem that you do pretty well when you don't show up.
Yeah. Well, until the main event or the co-main event last week, we were doing pretty well. But yeah, overall, my no-show record is pretty solid.
I don't want that to become a habit, so I don't know what you need to do to figure that out. But I just like the idea that when you haven't showed up, you're like, hey, man, it's just not going to work. I go, all right, no problem. And then all of a sudden I look down, I'm like, I think he got better at this happened. This is not good for television.
Yeah, this card so far is already starting off pretty unpredictable, though. So we'll see how the night goes. But who would have thought that 2 minutes left in round 3, we'd be seeing a stoppage? Oh my God, that we'd be seeing a stoppage on that end.
It's just ridiculous, dude. And I mean, I've been watching this fight, for about 12, 15 minutes that it's been going on. And all I could say is, yeah, dude, you probably do fall from exhaustion by the time it's all said and done, man.
Yeah. But this was one of those fights where if you live bet, you had an opportunity to recoup some losses. A lot of people were pretty high on Cosce walking into this fight, and in fact, Cosce by first round knockout was actually a money line bet. So after that first round was over, you could see the tide changing. You could have got Sasha at minus 175, which is a pretty good value. So if you live bet, if you originally bet on Cosce and you live bet, you could have bet on Sasha at a very good price at the end of round one, and made some of that back. But that's one of the benefits of live betting.
Dan, I have to ask this. I know we kind of go through this once every while, but whenever we put these polls up, it's usually with the intention of trying to give something away. And yet every single time you're on there, you're our betting guy. Why do you do that?
I just like to establish dominance over the other people who entered. I don't really care about prizes or anything like that.
Hold on. I'm glad you said that, because I actually told somebody about you today, and I go, it's very difficult when I saw you vote. I go, to hold our own betting guy accountable. However, as much as I want to say he's doing it for the thrill of the sport, I do know what he would expect to be said after it's done is, so Raph, where is my prize? And I'm like, you are not eligible. You are our betting guy. That doesn't seem like a conflict of interest.
Yeah, I guess I just want to be able to ask the question,
Either way, I mean, I'm always highly entertained because there's always a moment. I cannot tell you how many times we've done this where I just go, you're not allowed. And I say it to myself and only to myself. But anyway, Dan, I do want to bring up what you've got for us today. As always, you put together a beautifully orchestrated, nice little primer here in the true educator fashion that you are. Do your kids ever find you to be on the internet? Because I've wondered about that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm full online with teaching. I think the robots will one day take my job, so might as well make that transition really easy and get the kids used to it.
I just know that every time I see you come on our show, I go, please don't let him lose his job, Raph. Like, make sure you do enough to make him suitable for all this. So here's our sneak peek of what we've got going on today. People can see where we're going on. I already see one that's catching my eye, if not a few. But the one that really screams out to me is Tim Means. So let's put a bookmark there. We'll return back to him. Yeah. But let's work our way throughout all of these notes that you've got here. And let's also make sure that we remember to come back and do a toast for Sasha in just a minute. But, sir, I'm going to give you the floor. Go ahead and start talking us through.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're going to start off with Lipski. I'm taking Lipski with the plus 3.5 points, which means if it goes to a decision, you get an extra 3.5 added on to whatever the judge's total is. So if we're looking at a close fight, which I think this fight is going to be, those 3.5 points could come pretty much, could be the difference between a win and a loss, even if Lipski actually loses the fight. So I do see this being a very close fight. I like Lipski and her aggression. Her aggression has been kind of, both the reason for her success and her failure throughout her UFC tenure. But I do think in this fight, it's going to be really important that she's pushing forward, cutting angles, pushing Shevchenko back so that she can't really start firing off from distance. And I think if she can do that for at least 2 rounds, she's probably going to bag at least one of them. And as long as she can win one round and not get finished, having the points is going to be pretty solid. So I think it's going to be a close fight. So I'm taking the points.
When you start to look at these fights and you think with Lipski and you're saying, man, okay, that seems like an interesting wager to put on. What actually motivates you to do it when you're still kind of giving a lot of props to their opponent?
Well, I give a lot of props to Shevchenko, but I also give a lot of props to Lipski, and I don't see either woman getting finished here. I do see it being a very close decision. And when you can get in a close fight, if you can get 3.5 points and still get a line under minus 200, take it. Regardless of who you think is going to win the fight, if you can get those odds on the points line, then it's always a good value.
All right, noted. And I do like this. It's always funny when I see your notes here because I do love that these are put with some conditions for everybody to understand. So when you're like, I see this one going to the decision that Lipski may win outright, but I'm taking the extra points as a buffer. So you really do make sure to walk people through the highs and the lows of their bets that they are placing here. So I do appreciate that for you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely value in a Lipsky money line bet if you want to bet on her straight up to win. But I mean, with her style and her aggression and her lack of defense, I can see Shevchenko landing some strikes that might, sway the judges in her favor. So, in those fights where you think you can potentially see a split decision, it's never a bad thing to have the 3.5.
Let's continue this on. I do want to go to your next sort of note here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up. I do see that you were betting on Royval. Now, I'm interested in this one because Royval has put together some very interesting fights, and he is a very exciting fighter. Him and Moreno is kind of a interesting fight prospect, for my opinion. But what was your rationale for going on this card for him?
This is this is pretty similar to the Lipsky fight, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a pretty close one. If you look at like the numbers between Royval and Moreno, you're looking at like pretty similar striking numbers. They match up really close as far as like the accuracy, or I'm sorry, not the accuracy, but the strikes thrown and the strikes landed. The only difference is that Moreno, his accuracy is significantly lower because he throws so many shots. And I think what's going to happen in this fight is we're going to see a lot of aggression from Moreno. There's going to be, more strikes thrown by Moreno. And, I'm a little bit concerned that he can win the judges' scorecards just based on output, even if those shots aren't really landing. I think Royval is probably going to land the more meaningful shots. But again, this is a fight I see going to a decision, being very close. And so because of that, I like the points line as well. I'm taking Royval plus 3.5.
So I want to come back in here because you preface this one nicely as well. So let me go ahead and say this. It says, obviously, you think that Royval is going to land a little bit better, but you did condition this here, and I do like this. You think this one's going to be razor thin. So in your mind, how do you see Moreno potentially winning this one or upsetting what you're predicting here?
Yeah, I mean, I can just because of his volume, he throws so many shots. His accuracy is only 34%, so he doesn't land a whole lot, but he throws a lot. And I think depending on where the judges are, what the judges are seeing, if they think some of those strikes are landing, he could potentially eke it out. You can never really count on the judges to get it right when they look at the numbers because the judges aren't looking at the numbers. So with his output, with his, constant throwing punches, throwing kicks, I think he maybe could get a split decision here, but I think Royval is going to land the more meaningful punches.
I have to make sure to point this out. Christopher McGinnis says, now that's a beautiful stash. So do you ever feel like a piece of meat with all these people? There's more to just stand than just the mustache.
I super appreciate the compliment on my mustache from someone named McGinnis. I figured they probably at least like a semi-pro at identifying solid mustaches. So thank you to McGinnis.
Yeah, all the way from across the pond here. Joffrey Wakeling was saying that he also liked Royval, so you were in good company on that one. Before I call up your next one, Christopher James Velez did have a question, which is, what's up? Why are they still showing fights on Fight Pass? You want to take that one?
I'm watching on the ESPN Plus app. I do feel like I feel like they needed to do some kind of merger because it does feel like signing up for UFC Fight Pass and ESPN Plus is kind of like overkill because you get the similar events on both. But Fight Pass has a library, and that's super valuable when you're trying to analyze fights or whatever it is. So I would love to see them consolidate the two programs. But yeah, Fight Pass seems like it's like kind of like the middle child at this point. It's like kind of forgotten about. You get the Invitica and the kickboxing fights, but you don't really get the full shiny ESPN Plus product.
I feel like we're just always, as grapplers, supporting the Fight Pass to keep those people in business.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the submission underground and stuff like that. Now that grapplers can actually make some money. We kind of have a responsibility to be a part of that.
But it's always like, I don't know, man. I just saw that Conan's switching over to HBO Max, and I was like, fuck, now I got to keep that subscription. I was like, fine. I feel like it's that with grappling. So whenever I see a moment where I saw ESPN was going to take all the hype away, I go, oh, I can just cancel my Fight Pass. Ugh, fine, Polaris, Sug, Submission Hunter, I'll support you. Let's get to the one that I think most people should probably be on the same page with you. Maybe they just don't know how to express it. Tim Means. Okay, let me see if this is a thing we can highlight here. Your note here is important. So what is the methodology behind your bullet point that you sent me here?
I think everybody understands my question. What the fuck is going on with Mike Perry? Like, I don't, at this point, I feel like that it's kind of wrong to even book him fights. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like he's not in a place where he can approach a camp even in a healthy way. He's being cornered by his pregnant fiance and one of his friends who doesn't even fight. He's punching old men at restaurants, and he's weighing in 5 pounds over and dabbing on people. Like, it just seems like he really embraced the Florida man thing, and he's just running with it. And I don't know how much further he can go, but it's kind of a mess. I just see him getting a reality show after this fight and kind of just fading into obscurity.
I'm not even going to put up your analysis here. I want to use the full frame in here. Was that the saddest dab that you've ever seen in your life?
I felt like, it felt really planned. Like, I felt like for hours he was talking about it in the back, and he's like, hey babe, I'm going to dab. I'm going to be like 5 pounds over. I'm going to dab. And like little Corey's like, yeah, just do whatever the fuck you want. And like, he goes out there and does it. Like, I do feel like it was very much staged, but, yeah, it's depressing. Like, he used to be he still is a very entertaining fighter, but his personal life just seems like it's completely taking away his ability to perform.
I likened his dab to it's like the UFC version of Michael Cera's Christmas Time Is Here, like from Arrested Development, where he just sulks and like goes away. I go, that's the saddest dab I've ever seen. And more importantly, like, personal problems aside, we can't even begin to touch that one. Just looking at that dude dab isolated from anything, I actually think I would hate some fighters less if they did just own up to it like he did. He's like, we ain't even close, baby.
Yeah, didn't even bother taking off the underwear or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate him not wasting anyone's time in that regard. But at the same time, like, the day before, he's talking about losing 20 pounds in a day or whatever. Just not a good look.
Ryan Garrett, I know you just asked who's fighting right now. We're in between fights. When they return back on the UFC, it'll be Kyle Daukaus versus Dustin Stoltzfus. We'll get back to that in a second. So coverage is pending, but we are going through some fight picks. Now, having said that, let's go ahead and actually analyze why you think Tim Means is a good price here, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the narrative with this fight is that Mike Perry, he doesn't have a corner, whatever. He's so dangerous with his hands. He has that knockout power that he's just going to test Tim Means' chin. I think that's kind of, what most people are thinking. But if you look at the actual data, you look at what's happened, as of late, it's unlikely to happen. I mean, Perry can knock out Means. Means could knock out Perry. It could go either way. But when you look at like the actual facts, Means has been knocked out once by Nico Price, but before that, he's never been knocked out in his career. So his chin has, historically been pretty solid. Then you look at Perry, who started off his career in the UFC with a lot of knockouts. So a lot of people kind of, gave him the credibility of this power striker. But as of late, he hasn't knocked out anybody. He's been on the losing end of fights more often than not. He's kind of lost his ability to seek finishes. And I know he's, bounced between camp to camp and hasn't had consistent training partners or whatever it is. And I think, when someone's very clearly going downhill, it doesn't make sense to not take the underdog bet on Means. I'm getting plus money, Means scorecards, no action, plus 105. I think it's a no-brainer.
We just got a note here, and I think before we get to our final pick, I think this is apt for us to take a moment. Jake Sage, friend of the show, says, Sasha is my teammate here in Vegas, and he's an absolute monster. You guys are awesome. And then that's a tag at me. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate that. Dan, I'm going to let you actually do a toast to Sasha now that we know that we've got somebody here, as well as Dane pointing out Sasha and Ruby Sports and Entertainment. So, sir, would you like to take the toast on this one?
Yeah, sure. That was a very impressive underdog performance from Sasha. And luckily for us, he was a pretty, moderate favorite at the end of round one, minus 175 after surviving that early onslaught. And so he showed a lot of heart. He showed a lot of potential there. And hopefully he kind of steals some of the hype from Cosce. Cosce was coming in with a lot of hype, and hopefully he gets some of that. So congratulations to him. Cheers.
Cheers. Good indeed. Pass that along our way, Jake. We appreciate it. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much more I do want to talk about Mike Perry because it just starts to get sad. But you did kind of point something out, which is he started his career off with 4 KOs in 5 fights, but he hasn't scored a stoppage since 2017. And that does seem very odd to have as a statistic going against you.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're fighting guys who have traditionally been finished, so it's kind of just a little bit of a. I feel like this is kind of like the opposite of recency bias. When a fighter comes off a big KO, everyone thinks in their next fight they're going to KO somebody. I think the difference here is that Mike Perry KO'd so many people early in his career, and people think that he's still doing that. But when you actually look at his track record, he's kind of fallen off in that regard.
All right, main event. You are telling people to take some action here. Let's get some rationale behind it. I would like to hear. You've got Figueiredo at a negative 5.5 here. Why is that, sir?
Okay, so first of all, I don't really see this fight going to decision. No, that's kind of the reason I'm not taking the money line. I don't see it going to a decision. At the same time, I don't really know that I want to bet on Figueiredo to win inside the distance because I know that Perez is a durable guy. He's a game fighter. So with the minus 5.5, basically what I'm saying is I'm willing to give up a little bit of points if it does go to decision because I think it is going to probably end inside. What I do see happening is Perez probably being the one to push forward, Figueiredo being the one looking to counter. I do see Perez throwing more strikes and possibly even landing more strikes early than Figueiredo. But I think he just throws with so much power and he waits for his opportunities and he throws, his shots so accurately that I do see him landing, a fight changing sequence at some point early in the fight. I don't know, I don't believe he's going to knock him out cold or anything like that. But I do think that, one of these counters is going to stun Perez. It's going to lead to eventually a finish. And I don't think it's going to go all the way to the judges.
Now, don't you live in close enough proximity to Alex Perez?
Yes, I do. But, Figueiredo's like the most terrifying, flyweight of all time. I've never been scared of like 125-pound man before. You know what I mean? Like he's terrifying. He has the record at flyweight for knockdowns in the UFC. He has 8 knockdowns in only 9 fights. I mean, the guy for being 125 pounds just has explosive power in his hands. And, he doesn't land, as many strikes as some other flyweights, but the ones he lands are really significant. When you look at significant strikes for significant strikes, I mean, they're significant and then they're significant. You know what I mean? And I think Figueiredo throws those really significant shots that can change the course of a fight.
Having said that, all right, I've seen all of your things. I want to go ahead and make sure that we put this back up here for people to go ahead and take a gander at. Let me go and knock off the notes that we've got here. Let's just review for everybody. You've got Lipsky, Royval, Means, and Figueiredo. That is what you are putting down here for people to go ahead and put some money on. You have put down the amounts that you feel are fair. That keeps it to a $20 bet, which is always fun and nice to see. Dan, is there a fight off of these set of picks that you were excited for tonight?
Let me just take a quick gander. There's several that I bet on already. Let me just see here.
Because this is a pay-per-view, and we've had so many non-pay-per-views in a row, and whenever we get to the point where they go, oh, by the way, now you're going to have to pay for this one, we do have some moments where we go, oh, sure, we really want to pay for this one.
Yeah, I mean, I like Buckley. He's a minus 200 favorite right now, 2-1. I like him to get a finish in that fight. I think it's going to be kept standing at range for long enough for Buckley to get a finish here. As we've seen already, Buckley, he can throw power shots the entire 15 minutes. That's no problem for him. So I do think Buckley eventually does get a win here at minus 200. Earlier in the day, don't really like any of those. Jared Gordon making his debut. Allen hasn't fought in a while. Don't really, it's a pretty even line. Don't really feel like betting that one unless it's a live bet. Dalby Rodriguez, again, don't really feel like betting that fight because Rodriguez has overperformed, man. And he's been hurt in fights. He was hurt. Who was that person he fought last? He was hurt real bad in that fight, and then out of nowhere he got a come from behind finish. I mean, you're not really sure what to expect from him, and so I can't really bet that one. I do like betting the Buckley fight. I like betting the Lipsky fight, the Royval fight. Hua versus Craig, another one. What do you do with that? What do you do in a Shogun Hua fight? You can't count him out because he's fucking tough, but at the same time, I don't think any reasonable person would be betting a significant amount of money on Shogun Hua unless you're that guy who bets on the Puppy Bowl like myself. So I'm not really big on that fight. I'm not really big on Chikigian versus Cavillo. I'm not really big on that fight either. I do think Cynthia probably gets the win there, but I think it's going to be close, and you never know what to expect with Kochigian either. She's throws tons of volume. She looks really good in some fights, and then she got stopped with a body shot in her last fight. It's kind of hard. It's hard to predict. And then finally, the Shevchenko fight. Like, come on, she's minus 1,300 right now. There's no way you should fucking ever bet that. That's a ridiculous line. If you're going to bet anyone in that fight, you have to bet Jennifer Maia at plus 900 because it's just ridiculous. You shouldn't be touching that fight unless it's on the Jennifer side. So that's pretty much it. There's not a lot of bettable fights on this card. I pulled what I could, but you don't have to bet on every fight. And if you do, you're probably a degenerate. So
fair enough. I mean, we do have a number of those friends who are. I just found it very interesting that for about the first 6 hours of the poll that we put up, not a single soul bet against Valentina. And I said, hey, you know what? These guys can be dumb sometimes, but at least they're not that dumb.
Yeah, I mentioned it before, but I'm in this betting pool where there's 30 of us and we all put our money in the beginning of the year and we pick the main events and championship fights every single event. And at this point in the year, some of the guys just have so few points that they're just betting every single underdog every single time because they have no shot of winning otherwise. So you always know when you see in the chat, the guys are saying Maya, those guys just know their money's gone.
How close are you to winning that?
I'm in second place. I'm 1 point behind the leader right now. And, I think we only have 5 more fights till the end of the year. Problem is, at this point, between me and the other guy who's also very good, it's one of us has to take a risk. I have to take a risk on an underdog at this point in order to catch up. And so I don't know which underdog that's going to be. I'm thinking Kevin Holland might be my come from behind victory, but we'll see.
Good for you. That sounds like an excellent investigation of time. I would say this. Next week, though, there is going to be another set of fights. Very excited for that. Do you feel like it's partially a smart idea to make 2 people weigh in for a Thanksgiving series in Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis?
I mean, at least they're heavyweights, so you don't have to worry as much. But I think Derek Lewis has been pretty, honest about his approaches to eating chicken during a camp in the past. He says he just chews it and spits it out so he gets all the flavor. So I trust that he's going to be able to continue to do that and make weight. He'll be all right. I don't think, I think with Thanksgiving this year, there's not a whole lot going on for most people, at least for, and within my circle, I don't know anyone who's really doing anything. So, I think he'll be okay.
I was going to ask, do you have any plans for the Thanksgiving, Dan?
No, man, I'm not going to do anything, not going to grade any papers, not going to answer any of my emails. I'm just going to do nothing. I'm fortunate to have a birthday that lands during the week of Thanksgiving. So as a teacher, I get a week vacation every year for my birthday, and that's the best gift I can ever ask for.
Wow. Yeah, no, the former teacher in me saw you putting up the photo of Homer dreaming about sleep, and all I could think of was, I remember those days. That was a commodity, getting any kind of sleep. So I hardcore relate to that. Well, sir, I thank you for your time. You're doing an excellent job. Happy early Thanksgiving. Happy early birthday. I'm sure in some capacity we will see you next week. Try to, pace yourself. Don't go full Mike Perry on the turkey this year.
Yeah. Don't go full Mike Perry in other aspects of my life when I'm at a restaurant and an old man is standing nearby. And I'll do my best not to be a Florida man. I think I got it.
I just, sometimes you have to say the things or they become true. So I make sure to take care of those who we truly love and appreciate on the show. All right, man. I'll let you get on out of here. Dan, we always thank you very much. You have a great rest of your day, bud.
You too. Thanks.
All
Bye.
right, peace. All right. That was, of course, the esteemed Dan Hubler coming to give us some fight picks right now. We are right smack dab in the middle of Daukaus versus Stoltzfus. I'll go ahead and put on the banner so that you guys know exactly where we are on this card. But yes, this is a very, very interesting night full of fights. I'll go ahead and make sure that you know where we're going. I'm also cataloging who we have to do some cheers for. I know Dane Donovan is one of the first people that we got to do a toast for. I think maybe at the commercial break here, we will take care of that. Thus far in, I've seen a lot of work against the cage while Dan was talking. It's just taking a little bit of stock of the fight in general. It's not bad. It's kind of hard to get a palate cleanser after we had that first fight between Cosce and Palatnikov, which is monstrous. Sasha did not know we had fans of Sasha in the chat, but apparently we've got people who have trained with the man. So that is always something stellar and beautiful to see. Of course, though, we want to put this back up there in case you guys need some reference on what to bet this afternoon, if you would, or this evening, depending on where you are. Just to remind you guys, these are Dan's bet picks. Hopefully they bring you some kind of luck or they bring you some kind of fortune. Not really sure which is which in your case, but either way, still glad to go ahead and make sure we provide you with that information. Now, Daukaus is ahead on clinch control time at an almost 3-to-1 ratio here. So it is worth noting as we get ourselves in the last minute 35 of the second round. And yes, you are seeing Stoltzfus trying to fire off of his back with a few punches to get out of a bad particular spot against the cage, but he gets put right back against it going there. We will be going live on Instagram in a minute, but we want to give ourselves just a little time to just chat with our friends here. Feel free to hit us in the comment section with your notes. Do you agree with Dan's picks? Do you disagree with them? Let us know. We're always happy to take them into consideration. We also want to give a huge shout out to our friends, the Ariola Brothers. Look at this, ABW, Ariola Bros Wrestling. Shout out to our friend Rich for taking a silver medal at PANS. I think it's happening in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't really even know. I just know he's somewhere. So as we watch Daukaus almost get a takedown here, Stoltzfus doing an excellent job keeping his balance, gets pressed up against the cage once again and takes a nice shot to the gut there from one Daukaus. Daukaus continuing to... That's very interesting. Stoltzfus was trying to fight off of his back, off that cage, and those punches did not look real nice. They look like somebody who is exhausted, and rightfully so, as he's been having to do a ton of cage work defense, which will exhaust a human being after X many times. Last 10 seconds of the second round, Daukaus tries to fire off a kick, a punch. He lands on at least one of those, but he takes one on the button of the chin, and they reach the end of the second round. Eek. All right. Let's go and talk through a few things. First and foremost, I want to give some shout outs to the people that have been supporting us. I'm going to make sure that we are going to give them their proper due this evening. First and foremost, let's go ahead and shout out. We've gotten a couple shares, but this first cheers goes to the first person to share our show today, which is Dane Donovan. This toast goes out to you, Dane. Dane, I don't know if you know this, but when the show Night Court first came out, it was actually based on his life. He went back to NBC, Brandon Turtikoff. It was the 80s. It was a crazy time. And in between a cocaine binge, just said, you know what, man, what if they just had a court, but it was at night? And people were like, that sounds so stupid. Let's give it $20 million. And the rest is syndication history. People don't talk about Night Court. They sleep on it. But it was a huge hit. Cheers. Was also another huge hit. Very excited about that. Cheers to you, Dane Donovan. Very much appreciate you. You're always out here supporting us, and you know we love that. And it says, Stoltzfus is the easiest name to pronunciation in all of the UFC. So you may get this on occasion from the way that I do my job here, but I just don't care at a certain point. I feel like their names are sometimes suggestions. And at a certain point, you just got to barrel through 100% and just say the name with the most conviction that you've got. Speaking of which, look at this. Daukaus really wants a finish here. Stoltzfus trying to go for a takedown, does not get it. Now he's putting a little bit of pressure on Daukaus here. Daukaus using that tall personness. That's a word. And trying to bully him a little bit here, but you will see Stoltzfus doing an excellent job of keeping his balance all the way throughout. Has a nice high position on his underhook here. Now starts going a little bit to the gut like it's the end of a round. Exchanging with a couple knees here. And you're going to see Daukaus continue to put this pressure using the cage to his advantage here. There's been a big tale of the fight thus far in. Oh, I finally figured out the song that they're playing downstairs. They're playing the song Cutie Pie, the 70s funk hit. So, don't know what mood he's in today, but downstairs very much feeling the soulness or the funk, which is all the more reason why I drink more and end up getting louder throughout the evening. I will feel no pain here. Stoltzfus trying for a takedown, does not get it. He has at least part of the leg, but finishing it here might be a problem. He does wrap one of his legs around on the backside of it, loses it. Now he's using the cage again to his advantage. He's going to try and go up. Has good one underhook pressure here, but as he tries to move his head, he gets forced out and then pushes him straight back in, which is easy enough for Daukaus to go and reverse the position and now start to utilize his own press against him. Got a comment here. Eric Stoltz fusing. I mean, sure. Eric Stoltz is an amazing actor. Let's just not overlook that. Ooh, nasty here. Look at this. Daukaus trying to attack the leg here. Stoltzfus beautifully sifting right through it, and I think he might be putting some hurt on him in this particular moment. Daukaus almost lifting him back up, and he just says, fuck it, get up, dude. Referee giving him a second to get back to his feet, and now with 2 minutes left to go, this is going to be a dicey time. I will tell you this. This has been an interesting fight to watch in the mere sense that we've seen a lot of output in terms of both of these gents. And yet they're both just still at that point where they're like, man, I could see Daukaus still potentially getting a knockout here and finishing it. But Stoltzfus still staying upright, man. He's been super bloodied all the way throughout. Anyway, kids, let me know what you're doing for Thanksgiving. I'd love to hear it. I will not be doing anything. I'm just going to be here enjoying smaller portions this year because, really can't work it off too much. That's about it. Ooh, look at this. Daukaus working on the back. If he can keep the seatbelt, he's got a nice wrist cuffing on the back here. However, Stoltzfus gets back up to his feet. It does seem like what we have coming up very soon after this one is, I believe, Joban is next. So, eek. Daukaus, I still believe, is trying to get this fight. And you do see Stoltzfus keeping his hands, just protecting him. But it's just enough to stay within the game. Goes back to a single. Daukaus now trying to get that grip, forcing him down. Maybe trying to turn this into a little bit of a makeshift Anaconda Darce here. You will see, though, Stoltzfus is very much protecting himself here. I don't love the hand positioning, and I don't actually on either gentleman, but this might be enough to at least hinder him a little bit in problem. And of course, Daukaus is going to leave a nice exclamation mark at the end of the round as Stoltzfus takes a moment to get back up to his feet, and the gentlemen finish the fight. Well, interesting fight. I think Daukaus should get the official decision as you see Stoltzfus just putting his back against the cage, looking exhausted, and rightfully so. That was a lot to take in. Let me know how you guys have it scored. I would love to hear it in the comments section. But yes, we have a long, long night ahead of us. And we have already seen one amazing fight, if we are being so honest. And that is, if anything, what we try to do here on the show. But we have very much appreciated you guys. Oh, look at these people. Look at these people. I love when people try to come in and vote when they're not supposed to. Look at this. These people right here, they came in to vote at the last second. I always tell them, I warn them, I'm like, we actually do screenshot who comes in late to vote. I have no time or respect for those people. And yet they do it because they want to like amp up and see if they can get these picks right. Amateurs. I tell you. I like when they do these commercials for Slack. I'm like, listen, dude, I don't even like Slack as is when I have to do it for business reasons. Why do you think I want to see a commercial for it? Well, that's just me. All right. We're getting set up here to start going on the Instagram in a moment. So be prepared for the lovely comments that can only be voiced by the good people on Instagram coming in just a few seconds. Let me know if you guys are also drinking in the comment section. I would love to hear what you are drinking this evening. You guys are, as always, a huge part of our show, and it's always a blast. And of course, no surprise here, Daukaus does get the win. We will hear what he has to say in just a moment, but we will give him just a few seconds to get some proper selfies with his team as he is looking to see where the fuck he needs to go. I do enjoy this. They didn't even let that man get a selfie. He has to go straight to interview row because I think they are running behind on schedule. I think they're really hoping on Joban to try and make up for lost time. I think they're waiting for the... Nope. Going straight to the next package. Already promoting Joaquin Buckley, who is a huge, huge KO that really surprised the shit out of all of us, but more importantly, has a huge, huge fun person in his own right fighting against him, young upstart Jordan Wright, who is a monster. So we'll see how that one goes here tonight. In the meantime, we appreciate you guys joining in, stopping in to say hello. Look here, we see something that says cold smoke a coffee scotch beer. That's that good shit, man. Good for you. You will also see me tonight drinking out. It's about the holidays, so we use that little nice holiday cup there. But give us a like and a share. We give you a toast on air just like we do the fighters. I fixed it. Thanks, Chris. I just muted it for a second to take a little cough, but I appreciate you letting me know. Yeah, it's the holidays. We gotta start drinking out of this thing, kids. It's back. Thank you. Yes. I make sure that I try to keep the sound on going full capacity for you guys at all times. I got my pen right over there. Let's go ahead and mic myself up. You guys get to see how I get to do this. So for Instagram, we have a mic on hand right over here so that we keep only the best sound possible for our fans. We do go the extra mile. We make sure that we leave no stone unturned, but very happy that you guys are all joining us this evening, afternoon, wherever the fuck you are. Though at this point, it is pretty much evening for everybody. As I look out and I see it's dark AF. Joaquin Buckley, though, has all the hype. This is all Jordan Wright's opportunity to take it from him. They are stalling for Joban. Hopefully they're figuring that Joban can get this done very quickly. It's very interesting to see Joe Rogan back here, by the way. Not seeing him for a couple events makes you miss him? It's very odd to say, but it's not quite the same without old Joe Rogan on the call. Let's see if we can fix this out. Give this a title. UFC 255 Prelims. Join in. And they are still loud underneath us here at the studio, playing all of the best 70s funk hits. So that's going to be annoying throughout this evening, but it's what's happening. All right, we are going live on Instagram in just 3, 2. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast, Raffles Bars, and we are watching the prelims of UFC 255. We've seen one an amazing fight and one not so bad fight. So we're already off to a good start. We are also broadcasting live on Twitch, Periscope, actually not Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you want to watch on one of those, perfectly fine. If you want to stay here on Instagram, perfectly fine as well. But hit us up with your questions, comments, concerns, like you, Ron. Yeah, you heard me. Say hello to us. Drop us some notes. We expect a nice crowd here tonight because I don't know how many people are actually buying this one. Let's be real. There's a pay-per-view that a lot of people probably wouldn't pay too much for. Figueroa, though, not a huge draw. Alex Perez, friend of the show. Don't know people. Well, you know, I hope people do buy it for him. That would be very nice. But I do know a lot of people have sent me notes saying they will not be watching this one. So, as a result, it's on us, the good people here watching, the good people on here and here, to, let people know what the fuck is happening in the fight game. So people aren't going to do it, or they're going to use those illegal streams. It is up to us to tell them and narrate what we are seeing happen before us live this evening. In the meantime, we've got a moment. Joban and Gooden about to hit our cage in just a second. I'd love to hear who you guys have on this one. I'm betting most of you are going for one Alan Joban or Joban, depending on how you pronounce. What's up, Diane? And it is going to be an interesting division throughout this evening because we have a lot of fights that are probably going to divide some of our fans. I don't know that this is one of them. It is also interesting to see Joban headlining the early prelims. That's not really a position I would really consider him to be at, but it does seem interesting. Love the photo of you, dude. The photo of you looks like a beast. You look like you're on some sort of romantic novel cover. Doing good, bro. Good to see you. Good to see you too, man. It's absolutely great. I hope everything's good where you are. I hope you're safe. I hope you're having a good time. All of that jazz. All right, let's also make sure that we get rid of these cheaters who are trying to come in late and do votes because we know how that goes. We've already seen them try to cheat on some of these other fights that have happened, even though we tell people don't vote after the fight happens. We just publicly shame them, though. That's the fun part. I'm looking at you. Hold on. Let me pull one of these names out. Just a John Malicio. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Whatever. What am I drinking? I did say this earlier, but I'll pull it back out for you guys. Today, it's Ananinono. I don't know how to pronounce this one. And it's backwards for you on Instagram, so don't even try it. It looks oddly dyslexic, beer friendly. But this one, Anane Ono. Or, these look like they should be two separate names. It's pretty good. I actually was thinking I was going to have something else tonight, but I felt like this is the good way to go for this evening's festivities. We'll see where the rest of the night takes us. It is still early in the eve, but I like saying that you had a coffee scotch beer. That seems like a good way to ease into the evening. Though where you are, it's still kind of early to be drinking something on that heavy. So I'm not judging. I'm just saying, do you. Let's go ahead and do a couple other toasts while we are in the process of waiting here. I did notice we have a couple other shares. One of the shares came from good pal of the show, Adam Woods. Let's see. What do we say about Adam Woods? Adam Woods was instrumental on being one of the first people to suggest to Vince McMahon that they actually create the Survivor Series around Thanksgiving, thus making it a holiday tradition so that you always have Survivor Series leading into Thanksgiving, even to the point where they had Hulk Hogan carving out a turkey on one of the original VHS tape packagings. Just saying. It was a genius idea. Cheers to you, Adam Woods. It's so weird to continuously hear funk hits from downstairs, but that's where we're going to be. All night long, kids. What's that? Oh, I can. My wife is asking me how I'm able to hear it. I can 100% hear very well. It's the eyesight that's not great. The hearings could be better. But they are. Let's see. What are they playing right now? See, now you hear. I wasn't just making it up. I can't tell if he does that because I'm doing this. It might be. But also, this isn't like 3 a.m. I'm doing this. And it's at a conversational rate. So, womp womp. Either that or he's just really feeling funk. And is lonely, which is kind of sad. Anyway, let's not make fun of him. I don't think he's watching, but it still gets a little sad to be making fun of somebody like that. Not that we're above it, though. All right, Jared Gooden, Alan Jouban. I did ask you guys who you had in this one. I'm just assuming right now you are going for Jouban. He is a fan favorite. Most people don't know Gooden all that well, but Gooden has a lot of upside here. 17-4 record at fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia. Alan Jouban looking like a fucking Disney prince all the time. Friend of Karen Bryant, of course. They do their podcast together. So I think she will have a certain investment in how this one goes. One thing to note, too, Jouban is always out here at the local MMA circuit here in California. He's always cornering fighters. I will say this about him. Very passionate. Look at this. Christopher James Velez says he is going for Jouban. I see two people. Joffrey is going for Gooden. Okay. As is Kawika. Okay. All right. I see you guys. Appreciate you, Woods, saying hashtag facts. Hashtag facts indeed. Big facts, one might say. And we are about to start in 3, 2, 1. Wah fucking bam. Gentlemen, me in the cage, and Gooden already off to a start and trying to connect with Jouban, who's very evasive. Moves out of the way very quickly. Jouban in the black trunks. Gooden in the white. You are seeing Gooden start to advance. Jouban trying to move his head around, maybe staying out of the striking distance of Gooden. Got a note here. It says, is the main card on? The main card doesn't start for another 2 hours. So you got a little bit of time. We'll walk you through it. Now, Kawika is saying he believes this is going to go to a decision. Possible. But if you're looking at what Gooden's putting out here thus far in, I don't know, man. He definitely wants to try and get home quicker than most of us, I think, even want him to get home. Already within the first minute, he's been really, really just charging at Jouban. Jouban, I mean, he's definitely making a lot of movement here. He's been sidestepping out of a lot of this action. Jouban tries for a kick. Good, catches it. Comes in with a nice hook on the button. Looks good there. Yeah. If you were thinking for a decision, I don't know how much I like Gooden connecting on Jouban. So looks I don't want to say it's dicey, but Jouban is definitely crafty enough to get a reversal here in a moment. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But Gooden being very good with the movement. Jouban connecting a little bit here, which is nice to see. Good kick there from him. I think he's probably starting to get a little bit of a better understanding of the fact that Gooden just wants to press on. I think hopefully that's part of the game plan here. But yeah, it's always weird to see the placement of big UFC stars throughout. Of course, you will see, what is this? Shogun Hua will be the beginning of the pay-per-view this evening, which is nice. Ooh, Gooden pressing up, putting a lot of pressure on Jouban, who very quickly moves out of danger, comes back, gets a nice 1-2 combination for himself. That was a good kick there by Jovan. This has been an interesting fight thus far in. Jovan doing way better on some of these counters now. Now he's starting to unload on him. It's evening things out a little bit nicer. It's good. We have a note here that says the slap on that kick. Yeah, absolutely, man. Sometimes it does not sound super great. Though I'm seeing some comments on the Twitter sphere. So, yeah, it's incredible to believe that Alan Jovan and Shogun Rua are born on the exact same date. Like, do us a favor. Take a mental picture of Jovan in the black trunks. And then a little bit later, when you see Shogun enter the cage, just realize they are both the same age. That is part of the reason why we refer to Jovan as the Disney Prince. Oof, nice catch there. Gooden's now backing up. Jovan feeling a little bit of blood in the water. Starts charging ahead. Now it's Gooden who's starting to move out of danger. Jovan comes in with a nice kick. There's 55 seconds left to go in this very first round. Goes up top with a high kick. Does shake it out. Says doesn't connect. Of course, if you know Daniel commentary, aka DC's commentary, he says anytime somebody shakes their head like that, you know it actually hurt. I don't think that was the case in that particular one, though. Oof. So many different small games happening here. The first of which looked like Gooden doing very well with his jab. Jovan, again, very nice like head movement at this late in the first round. Normally it's hard to keep fighters moving consistently and well as the fight tends to progress. But I think the head movement's been a very, very important thing. Oof, Gooden connects just with one quick little tag as both of them kind of look at each other, not really shit-talking, but kind of having a knowing look at one another. So that's going to take us to the end of the first round. How do you guys have it scored for this first round? Let's go ahead and stay on this for a split second. We've got a few seconds to catch up on our affairs, our business. We want to thank you all for joining. Again, everybody watching on Instagram, hello. Feel free to go ahead and chime in with some comments. I know that a lot of you probably won't be ordering this one. But don't worry, we will. They're now showing a little bit of Jovan's corner. Compressing on the head right there. Looking to see if he's got a little nurse underneath. It says, what do you think of that accidental headbutt? I mean, what do you ever think of any accidental headbutt? It's accidental. It's a little unfortunate. We hate to see that happen. Kawaka actually says he thinks that was an even round. That's not a bad assessment, although they do have to give it to one person. But Christopher James Velez says, I feel like Jovan has the first round. He might have started doing more in the second half of that first round. It'd be interesting to see. Might also be for the composure of what he was doing. Because as the round progressed, we saw Gooden's output start to decrease in a level where, yeah. I was wondering when Jovan's countering game was going to play such an important role in here, but we are seeing it more and more shake out. Ooh, nice kick to the inside. Didn't look like a lot, but it was just enough to kind of make Gooden not have a placement on it. Just enough. Gooden now stalking him down. Jovan pacing it out very nicely. Jovan trying to go back to that leg kick that worked successfully for him just a second ago. Nope. Sorry about that, Instagram folks. Had to press a button, but you should be just fine right now. I mean, this is a fairly even fight. I will tell you that. Kalma, I will say, what's up, Sven? Good to see you, bro. Ooh, good, nice connections right there. Now he's starting to get a little bit better on Jouban. Jouban very quickly getting out of that spot. He does not want to stay there for too long. Jouban goes in for a kick of his own, connects at least with one of his punches there. Now he's trying to go back to the well house that is that inside left. I see the uh-oh note. The uh-oh note can never be a good sign of anything here. But Jouban now again has Gooden on the run. Gooden trying to dice, trying to go out of the range. But Jouban very much understanding now the output's changed. Christopher James Velez says, damn, Jouban is coming back. He is for sure coming back right now. The momentum is definitely changed in his favor. Very good for him to see. He is connecting nicely here. 2 minutes and 30 left in the second round, and Gooden does not feel great about a lot of these punches thus far in. Ugh. Jouban almost coming in with a 15-hit combination here. He's continuing to put it on him. Gooden is in trouble, coming in with a couple knees here. Jouban responds with his own, and does look like Gooden wipes away a little bit of the blood out of his face here. Again, we'll remind you, even though he's blooded up right now, just look at Jouban, and then remember, Shogun is the same age. We're going to keep talking about that one. It says, Disney Pris for the win. I will tell you, Karen Bryant actually tried to instigate shit. It was like, ooh, oh, shit. She was trying to be like, yo, you guys need to grapple. And I'm like, what the fuck are you trying to do here, Karen Bryant? I don't need Jouban to try and murk me. I was like, Disney Prince, of all the insults you can get, is actually a pretty decent one. Like, it's a compliment. But again, very passionate person. So when he is at these live fights out here in SoCal scene, you should see him get up for his guys. It is intense. And seeing him put on. So we always like seeing that. He's got a lot of very similar friends in our circles, but we have not had the opportunity to meet just yet. I'm sure that'll change at some point. But yes, in the immortal words of our good friend Sven, uh-oh, indeed. Tide has been changing. We are seeing a lot happen thus far in 2 rounds. This is nice to see, though. Jouban not really carrying on some of those jabs connecting, kind of looking at him and saying, like, you know what? I don't even give a shit if that one's going to come through. Sven is predicting that Jouban will finish this in round 3. Okay. We did learn something, I guess, at least on the early part of the night, which is good in trying to drag him down here. Doesn't fully have the back of Jouban, but enough to kind of control him. The thing that we learned from Sven that he offered me, because he put in his picks, and the first 2 did not go great for him. But after the first one, Sven sends me a note and goes, you know what, dude? Whatever picks I send you, do the opposite. And I think you'll make a lot of money. And that actually checks out. That's 100% accurate on some of these picks. And the worst part is, Sven is an amazing coach. He teaches MMA so well. But it just goes to show that just because you teach it amazingly and can voice your opinion on fights does not mean you're going to circle the right ones. So there is that one. Says Prince Charming round 2. I'm so glad that nickname is taking off. If only selfishly so that I'm not the only one he tries to beat up. If Karen Bryant tries to make us fight, which I'm not trying to have happen. This is always interesting to see. Karen Bryant is such an instigator, too. That's how you know she's a fight fan. She's like, you guys both train. You should grapple. And I'm like, let's be very clear. One of us fights for a living, and the other one talks for a living. Karen. Rude. But of course, it is nice seeing Karen Bryant back on these broadcasts. Look at this. Round 2, significant strikes. Joban taking a nice lead in the second round. And we will see what happens. But yes, Sven was saying that he sees this happening. It says, I hope Joban can recover the cardio to finish the fight in the third. That is going to be the big question mark here, as they have already gone past the 5 p.m. mark that they were supposed to hit to be done. But you could tell they actually took a pause when they were running behind, actually promote Joaquin Buckley. It seems like they feel he has some momentum. The only thing you may not consider is tonight he is fighting Jordan Wright, who also has a very impressive finish within his own UFC career to begin with. So that's going to be a very fun fight to watch this evening. And Jordan also fights out here locally, a friend of a lot of people that we all know in our same circles. So be very interesting to see what happens. A nice spinning back elbow there. Jesus. Honestly, I did not see that one coming at all. But Joban does look a little bit tighter to put to one of our fan responses there. So it's going to need him to kind of pull it all together. The question is he less tired than Gooden, who, for all intents and purposes, is putting back together a much better game plan, at least in this third? I think he knows it's very likely not looking favorable for him on the cards. Joban kind of goes down for a little bit of a takedown, does not get just switched his level. And the referee putting a momentary stop to this for a split second. Looks like there was a low blow. Okay. Yeah, that checks out. Well, referee kind of asking him, how you feeling? Family members all good? You guys want to continue this, or do you want to take your full 5? And again, look, they have a clock, and I really think there should be a name to that one. So whoever their dubious sponsor is, there should be like Condom Depot Depends the Nut Shot Clock. Christopher James Velez chiming in with this ref and a hilarious laugh emoji. Yes, this ref indeed. I mean, the output's picked up. At least the rest gave both of them the opportunity to know that they both want to finish here. Joban coming in with some nice knees. Gooden reverses the position, but takes a nice hook to the left there from Joban. Oof. All right. These guys are unloading here. Everybody wants a fight bonus here tonight. Flying knee. Eek. I don't want to call it that, but you know what? It's good enough to get a laugh out of me, bud. I'm just putting it up here because I don't really want to say it out loud. But yeah, that checks out. Dude, I say those things. That's what the YouTube robot picks up on and says, is this an explicit podcast? Yeah, sure. Ooh. There's a nice slip there from Joban that couldn't have come at a worse time, but Gooden wasn't able to take advantage of it. Kind of dropped down on top of him. Joban very easily gets back up. Must be part of the training that you get over with Kenny Bolt, as I've seen him train over with the Black House guys a number of times there as well. Joban's still holding nice here, man. I think if he keeps this up for the next minute 50, I think he's got the decision here, guys. Significant strikes in round 3 alone is very close, but Joban is slightly ahead, 35-29. Of course, just remember, Sven told us there was 100% going to be a finish within round 3. So I just want to remind you guys that we did have a prediction for a finish. No pressure, Sven. Just saying. Still time. Anything could happen. We've seen weirder things in the UFC, so I don't want to say anything that just can come back to bite us in the ass in just a few seconds here. But with 70 seconds left to go in this fight, I think it is very close to being what we had earlier. Don't pick my picks. No, I get you, dude. It's still funny to say. I don't know why. I think you just have weird fight pick luck. There's like no other rational thing. Like if you guys heard Sven say this as he was describing things, you would probably say like, oh, Sven really knows what he's talking about. He's a smart guy. And look, Sven's probably looking at this guillotine with a lot of investment here. Joban trying to tighten it. It's looking a little bit better here. It does still look like Gooden is trying to 2-on-1 this. So you can tell that the extra sell here by Joban is shaking his head. This is definitely a pro wrestling tick that you learn when they sell it with the top. And it does look like he's even talking at this point. I don't really know what you could really be saying in this moment, but it's dicey. Oh, Gooden looks like he wants to tap, but he almost wants to tap, but I think he knows he's just short on time, and he is expired on time, and he will have to let the move go. Both of these guys have a nice laugh about it. Good for them. What is up? Tyler Minton Nutrition. Side crunch. All right, we've got some notes here. Let's see what they say. Yes, guillotine and D. Joban calling out. Gooden 2-1. Fascinating. A note here, Sven. This is for you. It says Sven was so close. Actually, he ended up being close in the end. I still am not 100% convinced that even Joban would have finished that. Kalma, I want to go back to your Gooden 2-1. How? And what round specifically? Because between being higher on the output, what's up, Chance? Higher on the output and with the guillotine, you should figure Joban for round 3. So you're saying he won the other 2 rounds. Don't know that I agree with that. But again, last week we also saw a friend of the show, Kay Hansen, have a screw job of her own. Unfortunately, kids, I will tell you, it does look like Joban picks up the decision by all 3 judges going 30-27. So you were right in that it would go to decision. You were wrong in basically every other regard. But, you know, good job otherwise. We'll have to see what you said. 1-3. Yeah, I don't see him winning that 3rd round. You are absolutely ridiculous for that. Under no circumstance. Well, let's see if they interview Joban because they're behind schedule. I don't know that they will. Jesus. Somebody should really take some of these John Anik quotations out of context. Sometimes he says the weirdest things where he's just like, well, daddy's coming home a winner. And it's like, you don't need to phrase it like that. That's weird. All right, they're doing their insignia, which means they're switching to the 5 p.m. broadcast, which means Senor Joban is not getting an interview. That's so dumb. Anyway, let's do some housekeeping here. Hello, everybody. Except Kalma, who goes 1-3 rounds for Gooden. Completely absurd. 30-27s have it. UFC is shilling their product. They're letting you know that after these prelims, so we got 4 prelims on this 5 p.m. late start card, and then they will go to the pay-per-view. The Anik impression killed. Thank you. Yeah. Sometimes just using the broadcaster voice it's not that hard. Anik is good at his job, but also vaguely a robot at times. So we like making fun of the robot. Otherwise, he's very nice. I've seen him in person. He's very giving with his time, so we like to always poke fun of him. Oh, you know what? This is fucking money. I forgot how excited for this I am. So after Joban, we've got Rodriguez and Dalby coming up. Have you guys, first of all, did you listen to our interview with Daniel Rodriguez? The dude has power in his hands. He is a savage. He, I believe, is just 3-0 in the UFC this year alone. He made his debut. He's really fun to watch. And I think him versus Dalby is going to be a very interesting fight to watch. So very excited for our friend to get some shine here on the card tonight. And he's going to be leading it off. It says, dude, I want these tattoos. I mean, Rodriguez is a friend of the show. I don't want his tattoos. I'll be very... Get this. It says, this pick I'm going to get right. Let's go, Rodriguez. All right. I like hearing that, man. D-Rod is fucking... He's intense, man. I've seen him get rocked and come back in a fight. He's a local guy as well, so we always like rooting for the Cali guys. He's just, dude, he's good people. And LA born and raised. He's definitely one of those guys who, when we do the interview and I'm asking him about how'd you get into fighting, and he's like, well, I got into a lot of fights as a kid. I was like, you don't say, bro. You don't say. So that's what we got going on. I have to put back on the Instagram for whatever reason because it unfortunately killed out. So let's go ahead and put that back on. Don't want the story. We want the live. My apologies to everybody watching on the other portions of the show. Here we go. Going in 3. Let's see here. Nope. Let's go to story. Thank you. And to live. Going back in 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, everybody? Sorry that killed out. We're continuing our coverage. We are watching UFC 255. It's the early prelims. I have a note here that says, Rodriguez, using the Kevin Phillips tattoo method of picking fights. When it works, it works. You know, there's not a real method to what Kevin does, but when it works, it's quite compelling to watch. So I have to say that about him. What's up, Battle Mountain 2K? That's an interesting fucking name. What the fuck does Battle Mountain mean? Is that a tournament? Is that a gym? Is that a mountain you just climb to go fight somebody? I mean, if so, sold, but still. And the 2K makes it sound like it's like EA Sports makes that as a video game. Could be wrong. Either way, we're very happy to have you. And you seem quite nice in the comment section. So yes. Yes, sir. All right. I see you. I dig it. Oh, it's a tourney. Look at that. Where are you guys located out of? What is up, David? We got a photographer in here. Hope you're doing well. We're watching some UFC 255 prelims. Battle Mountain sub-only grappling at 2,000 feet. No thanks. Bro, when I go to Denver to train, Middle Tennessee. Okay, nice. Okay. Man, I miss me some Tennessee. Well, good for you. Love hearing that. That's some great things to see. Please get in contact with us if we could ever help to give some love to your tournament or to what you guys do. I'm always happy to go ahead and interview or reach out to folks. That's one of the benefits of doing this show. We get to talk with grapplers from all over the place. I used to live in Kentucky. I have fond memories of going to visit Tennessee. And yeah, I miss that place. So good for you, man. Glad to hear that. All right. Kalma's coming in right now. Round 2 TKO. But from whom? You just calling out the fight ending without saying who's doing it? It seems like a very anticlimactic way of taking care of things. So, all right, let me go ahead and make sure I'm not missing anybody on our shout outs. I think I am due for one more cheers to do. As we like to remind people, if you give us a like and a share on Facebook or a subscription on YouTube, we will give you a toast on air, just like we do to those fighters who get a finish within regulation. It says huge match of national interest coming up. 12-5, Emil Fisher versus Josh Yelverton of 10th Planet Gulf Shores. Well, everybody except Emil Fisher sounds great in that match. So awesome. I mean, who doesn't want to beat up Emil? So that checks out. Good for you guys. Very happy to hear that. I just interviewed Emil, I think, about a month ago, somewhere in there. He is the Weird Al of jiu-jitsu. We actually used to call him the Loki, but I think that we said he's the byproduct of what Weird Al and Screech from Saved by the Bell having a baby would look like. So I think that's a pretty accurate description of him. Let's go, D-Rod. And then, of course, coming up a little bit later, Joaquin Buckley, Jordan Wright. That's going to be a fire one as well. I'll be looking super intense over on the corner. His braids are fastened in a very interesting way, by the way. Kalma, tell me who's winning. I want to hear who you guys have in this fight. Chime in very quickly before this fight starts. For some of you, you might actually be ahead of me, so quickly from the future, unless you know what the result is. Dude, Dalby's back tattoo, though. It's got to be very interesting. 13-1. I forgot how good Daniel Rodriguez's fight record is. He's also from Alhambra, of course. If you talk to him, you would get that very quickly. But he is an individual who often fights with or trains over with the good guys over at the Bad Motherfucker Ranch with Donald Cerrone, Joe Schilling, disciple of that. Rodriguez, round 2 to TKO. Thank you very much. I appreciate you telling us that now. What is up, Lopaka 808? Thanks for joining. We're watching UFC prelims. We're about to go in 3, 2, 1. This motherfucker's listening to Return of the Mac downstairs. That's how we know he's in trouble. He's just playing all of the 90s jams, like all of the 90s R&B jams now. He's really having emotions. This is what my wife is saying. I'll leave him be. We'll keep to the action right here. Ooh. Dolby goes in for a kick. Rodriguez catches it and tries to chime in with a nice punch there. Does not get there. I do see a couple notes here. Joffrey also said Rodriguez to win. I hope so too, fam. Dolby's going to be a very tough pull for him. There was also a weird subliminal promotion for the Marines that just happened with their overlay just 2 seconds ago. Jesus Christ, their graphic team needs to get it together. They're cigarette burning some of those things in like Fight Club there. Dolby with a nice kick to the inside. Yes, as I was saying earlier, Daniel Rodriguez trains with Joe Schilling a lot out of the yard here in Los Angeles. So striking has always been top-notch. He's also, memory serves me correct here, a 10th Planet black belt studying over with the good folks out in headquarters that way. It says I got to change from Air Force to Marines now. Well, you know, you got to do you, man. I can't tell you what jokes that'll entail from your guys, but I'm sure it will come with a heavy price. Good right hand there by Dolby, though. Again, Rodriguez is somebody who, when it looks like he's about to go down, that's almost when you turn on the switch for him to go even more intense. So that's why I did like this one on paper for him. I mean, I figured Dolby is going to pull it out of him, but this is going to be a very, very interesting fight. And we are already starting to see elements of that in the first few minutes of it. Good high kick there from Dolby. Dolby, of course, in the red trunks. Rodriguez in the blue. Rodriguez also has his year of birth on his chest, which is always an interesting thing because it's kind of like those rap songs. Yikes. Rodriguez hit him so hard, he straight out went like a magnet to the back of that cage. Eek. What I was saying with about the year on his chest, it is reminiscent of when you hear a rap song that has like a year in it and you just go, oh, God. Busta Rhymes telling you it's 1998. Just feels very sad in 2020. It just knows how much further the date goes back. I just, of all the tattoos I could think to get, I don't know that I would get the year I was born in there. I think my face and look will tell you exactly how old I am. Nice outside kick over by Dolby. D-Rod is such a monster, though. They have been trading thus far in. And I mean, you figure with all of the guys who have been working kickboxing with him, who have a very good sense of how to switch things up, that's part of the reason why you see D. Rodriguez taking so many of these these leg kicks, almost like with no flinching at all in his face. He seems to be very accustomed to this, which is a very hard thing to get used to, by the way. So let's see. I'm wondering what the real-time stats are going to look like in Vegas in between the rounds here, because thus far, I mean, a very good fight. And this is one of those fights that I kind of have to excuse myself out of in terms of even scoring it, because I do see it as being close. What is up, the Real Machine? It's a good nickname. It's almost a good pro wrestling nickname too, actually. Oh, it's the Real Machine. Or their Real Machine? You got to tell me. I don't know. 43 seconds left to go in the first round. We are seeing a little bit more of a steady pace at this point. Ugh. Yeah, D-Rod's got a good counter game that he's just waiting to unload here. I've seen him this in time. Yep, do not let yourself get put on that cage with that man. That man's hands are cinder blocks. And it says there can only be one machine in Sweden. That's amazing. So you're joining us from Sweden. Well, welcome to the show. Happy you're having a good day. And then it says, I feel like Dalby may have this round. And then it says, oh, damn it, never mind. That's a fun thing to watch with Rodriguez, though. The madder he gets and the more that he gets hit, the more intense he responds. So, all right. Are you like Christopher James Velez? Do you feel like you want to switch where your allegiance went on this one in terms of how you were calling it? Would love to hear where you guys are at. How'd you score it round the first between these two giants? The Real Machine, what time is it for you right now, by the way? I can't figure that out. If you're watching from Sweden, I don't know what exactly time frame you are looking at it. To us right now, where I'm at, it's 5:24. So I don't know what time zone you're dealing with. I feel very bad for the people elsewhere because they have to get up early to watch these fights, whereas the rest of us kind of bitch when we have to watch it at 1 p.m. With good reason, though. And it's weird because we already have a guy named Sven in here. He's not super Swedish. All right, round two. As the digital banners fly out of that. Yeah, D-Rod wants to get this guy into the corner as quickly as possible now. A bet alert. A bettor has put down $15K on Brandon Moreno, Paul Craig, Anatoly Shevchenko, Daniel Rodriguez, and Valentina to all get the win. The payout, $77,000. Well, that's too much. Christopher James Velez says, I'm staying Dalby in the first round from total strikes landed. I think D-Rod might shift in the fight in the second round. Very possible. So we'll have to see how this one goes for all of us. He is now chasing him down. Dalby does not look like he wants to be dead center of this. I think he felt part of that power in that first round. Ooh, nice switch of the level there by D-Rod. Now D-Rod going to make this really weigh down on him. And this is the moment you really get to see all of the tattoo work that both of these gents have really gone out of their way to get fixed. Got him on the cage. Indeed, he did. This is a good spot for him, but I still feel like what he wants to do is disengage and just unload here. It says D-Rod needs to stop reaching for the low kicks or a head kick is coming. I would agree with you there, Sven. I think that's the unfortunate one of the few things that I see with this game that I kind of feel is like a little bit of a weakness is he's just somebody who just goes, fuck it, I'll eat it. I don't care. Which sounds good if you could. It says the only way Dalby wins is if he blinds D-Rod with science. Dude, don't put that out there, man. We don't need that right now. We're all trying to go for our guy. It says his hands look great, though. Yeah, and D-Rod makes some of those punches that, like, sometimes look, like, super awkward. They have so much power to it, and I just go, dude, I don't know how he has that power. He just does. We should all reprimand Adam Woods for that comment. I don't have a timeout. I actually know I do. Wait, hold on. Is there a button here that I can do? I do have a button that says put user in timeout. Oh my God, that's right. Producer wife Kelly is major into that one. She didn't know I had that power. Unfortunately, though, we like wood, so I have no issue with that. Good switch kick there by Dolby, though. I try not to use it. The only time we really have ever used that is when we've had one or two trolls that just aren't funny. Like, if people are going to come troll this thing, like, this show is made for trolls to come in and have some fun. We'll probably get some tonight because people are poor. And when people are poor, that's when we get the worst of them. And especially for a card like this where they go, I'm not paying for this one. So be prepared here, everybody. I already am. I have a nice beverage in hand. I'm going to insult them freely. Oh, no, don't say you'll shut up. I don't want you to shut up. Listen, dude, just don't say dumb things. This is really what it comes down to. I usually attach a name to who it's responsible in terms of fucking up the show. Though, Woods, you're not fucking up the show, so I'm not going to give it that. What is up, Goose Chick? I mean, I feel like that's your last name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. So if you could phonetically put it into the chat, I'll go ahead and get there. It says Dolby scoring with leg kicks. Rodriguez, though, is starting to put some things together here. Yeah. Eek. But just look at fucking Dolby's face. Like, even though he's still in this fight. Oh, Gi. So it's just like Gi. So Gi's check. Okay. I mean, I'm probably going to continue fucking up the name. But, you know, that's what you're here for, right? 40 seconds left here. Yeah, Dolby really wants to continue moving and evading some of these punches here. Goes in, tries to get the takedown here, pushes him up. Just that's it. Hey, I got it right. Go me. Look at this. Lower the bar and just barely overcome that bar. MMA fighting seems to believe that we got ourselves a good fight here. I do believe we have a good fight. Don't know. It's Twitter worthy to tell people we got a good fight. That's a better way to neutralize, though, D-Rod, to Dolby's credit. And we go to the end of the second round. All right. If I know Daniel Rodriguez, watch for the way he comes out in this third round. If he can overwhelm Dolby, I think he can win this fight. But it's going to be a close-ass thing. I could very well see him getting a finish in this. It is just dicey enough to see who's going to pull ahead just by having it a little bit more of with an edge. Shout out to Kai Kamaka, who is going to be fighting on November 28th. Holy fuck, dude. Woodson's out, so it looks like Kamaka is going to come in to fight Jonathan Pierce, another friend of the show. Yeah, I'll retweet that. Some good shit. As we try to listen in and see what they're playing downstairs. Like, you guys can't hear that, though, right? That's the only important thing. Downstairs neighbor has been in a mode. Almost sounds like Funk Phenomenon. All right, third, final round. Daniel Rodriguez won. Dolby. Yeah, I was saying that earlier. Karma Worthy is tweeting out, yeah, Dana White going to be poor tonight because of all these people going out for extra fight bonus money. Thank you, Sven. I appreciate you. I'm glad you guys can't hear it. It tells me that we've got a good microphone configuration here so that you only hear my voice. And maybe just a hint of the UFC playing in the background. Joe Rogan giving some compliments to the pressure that Daniel Rodriguez puts. But that is, you see Dolby doing a nice job of kind of standing his ground here. Getting a couple good shots on Daniel Rodriguez. Ooh, goes in, tries to switch the level. Now, this is, I think, proven very helpful for Dolby to get in a couple of these situations. Whenever he stalls him out and put him up against the cage, You see him have a little bit more success here, but standing directly in D-Rod's eye line, dude, that's where trouble starts to hit. And now you're seeing Daniel Rodriguez kind of let him come forward. I think he's waiting for a knockout punch on some of these counters, man. Yeah, just look at his posture. Normally, you see Daniel Rodriguez press the action a little bit more, and you have to wonder if he's not pressing the action, why is that? I'll go ahead and take a couple of these comments. It says D-Rod has found his range. Thomas Dolby had a song called "She Blinded Me with Sign." We all know that. You don't have to explain that, Woods. It says, this is for sure a fight that judges would score all over the place. Yeah, that's going to be bad. Dolby sounds like Dolby. Yeah, I know that, Woods. You're not the only one who knows pop culture here. Please. You're going to tell this to a Billboard Hot 100 expert level individual here? Please. I feel D-Rod won the second round. Okay. All right. So, yeah, we might get an all over the place scorecard on this next one here, kids. This is going to be a really important third round here. One thing that is very interesting, and as Sven pointed out, if it is going to go all over the place, and he is alluding to that, if you see Dolby start to loosen up on his head movement here, that's an open invitation for Rodriguez to get in some really clean shots. I don't know that it's going to be enough to actually put Dolby out, but this has been the secret to his success. A rush in, finding a change of level slightly. He goes for a little bit of a trip here. Rodriguez not falling for it. They disengage. He tries to come over top with it. Rodriguez has nothing to do with it. Goes in for a second. Man, and Rodriguez is posture like a fucking peacock, dude. Most people would need to just start sprawling for that. He has no time for a sprawl and still manages to get out of it. Takedown defense has been 6 for 6 this evening for Daniel Rodriguez. Props to him. Dolby coming in with some better shots here. I think D-Rod may need to make a little bit better of an argument in these last 90 seconds. Yeah, the more... What's up, Will Robinson? Or Will Robson, my apologies. Yeah, this has been super, super effective for Dolby to continuously press up D-Rod against the cage. 70 seconds here, D-Rod. Come on, bro. That was almost a Stockton slap there, by the way. Oh, man. Yeah. Half that dicey. But just look at fucking Dolby's face, dude. Like, I don't mind ever rolling with D-Rod in the future, but I am never taking him up on an invitation to do any kind of, like, if he tells me he's going to hold pads for me, I'm going to be like, no, I don't trust you. Like, you fam, but no. All right. 30 seconds here, Rodriguez. And Rodriguez getting a little bit of Joe Rogan saying that, ooh, who said that Dolby was running away from this or running away with this round. However, 24 strikes for Dolby and 21 for Rodriguez show it's a little bit closer in terms of output. And then just looking at Dolby's face, you got to figure like, yeah, I kind of get that. Come on, Rodriguez. A couple more of these shots. Good kick there. Yeah, that one's going to be all over the place. Sven, you said that one quite nicely, my friend. We'll have to see where the people fall on this one. Here's some good news, though, guys. Now that I'm looking at some of the poll results, we see people who are not cheating as much. We saw people who are voting for the fights that haven't happened yet now. Could be that we're putting them on public shame. So I'm pretty sure that is helping our case here. But just to let you know where people fell on this fight, 52% of respondents felt that Rodriguez was going to win, while only 48% thought Dolby. So even on our poll here, it was pretty close for people who chimed in on that one. So we'll see in a second how that fight result ended up going. But without a fight end, we will not have a toast for either of those gentlemen, unfortunately, and I would have loved to have cheersed one of them. I would have actually very much specifically liked to have cheers Daniel Rodriguez. I don't really know Dalby, but that's what happens. What's up, Critton Rosenzweig? Hope you're having a great day as well, bud. What are you into today? What were you doing? Last I saw, you were killing it over at the, what is it, Bullpen Submission Series. That dude, Jason, look at this guy coming in for his belated birthday celebration. Sitting here, taking a few moments with us, chatting along. Good to see you, bud. Hope you had a great birthday, bud. Well, Nicholas Dalby is going to be your winner. He does get the decision 30-27, 29-28, and 29-28. It is a unanimous decision. I begrudgingly do agree with that. That's a tough one. Christopher James Velez says, what the hell is this Proper 12 ad? It's just trying to get people excited about Proper 12, dude. Conor McGregor, it's like a 0-4. Oh, no. Bro, I don't know what to tell you, man. Listen, I will bat 1,000 times for Sven and his coaching ability. I have nothing to tell you about his ability to pick fights. He should be better at this. And like, he's somebody that I would like to see do well, but he even sends me his picks in the nicest of ways and will go, all right, man, feeling good about this one. After the first fight, I'm 0-1, Raph. It's not going well. I was like, well, it's the first fight. Raph, it's 0-4. Yeah, it's not looking good, bro. Oh, man. Christopher James List says, yes, the Conor McGregor thing was a gif or GIF if you say things like an idiot. Quentin says, coaching at New Breed today, awesome. Yeah, 2020 has been good to me. Absolutely, dude. You look great. How many fight finishes did you get at Bullpen Submissions? I was trying to keep up with it, and I like that PJ gave you a nice shout out on the show. Thank you for plugging that as well. But he was saying that it was unfortunate you guys didn't get to meet up as a result of just how the brackets were put together there. So obviously rooting for you guys. You got 3 finishes. That's amazing, dude. Good for you, dude. I always like checking on those things and seeing how everybody does. But props to you, man. It looks like a really, really fun event. Man, this is just fucking intense. Sven, I'm so sorry, dude. This just bums me out. I think I'm rooting for you more than everybody else to get some of these right. Maybe you can rally and you'll get every one of the rest ones finished correctly. Quentin, 55 seconds of match time. Dude, you could have zoomed in your fucking efforts there. Jesus. That's incredible, dude. I wish that was my case, man. Sven will tell you, even when I'm trying to kill someone when I'm rolling, it takes me about a good 55 seconds to remember I'm even rolling sometimes. And yeah, me too. PJ might have been fun. Absolutely, dude. You guys have good styles, and PJ's always game, man. I saw him get, I thought it was an armbar in a competition that he put up. It might have actually been an armbar just at his gym. But just, he likes to tell people, he's like, yeah, that's why I'm called the Butter Panther. And I'm like, that's a fucking weird name, PJ. I really don't know what to do with that one, man. Got a note here. Christopher James Velez says, I got Lipsky. Okay. I can't hate on that. You're not the only one. Our good friend Dan Hubler was saying that he had Lipsky as well. And I actually encourage folks, let me put this up as a banner for those of you who are watching on our main broadcast over here. Says he was telling you guys to put some money on that. Over here, Lipsky, he was saying plus 3.5 points. So he was saying bet 5 to win 313 there. I don't disagree with that. I'd like to see her pull it off. Of course, having 2 Shevchenkos on a card, I don't know, man. That always makes me feel weird to see how that goes for folks. So just reminding you guys, let me take off that banner there. Yes, bet $5 to win 313. He usually tells us how to make $20 turn into much, much more, because we don't want you guys to be so compulsively bad at gambling that you spend more. $20 seems about right. That seems okay. And if you're Sven, don't at all bet on anything. Sven, give me your credit card. I'm not allowing you to bet. If you ever feel like you're going to bet, call me, and I will talk you out of that decision. No, this is the meanest fucking comment. No. Quick Columnist says, who did the opposite guy pick? No. That's so mean. But let me go ahead and look. It says, I'll check in a second for you, bud. He's a weird dude, but super nice and cool. He had one of the dopest finishes at bullpen where he started down a coach that was talking smack while he choked a guy. Damn. Oh, he stared down a coach who was talking smack. It was epic. Yeah, dude, I saw the coach go over and put up a post and say something about like, yeah, we had beef in that day, but I'm really passionate about what I do, and it ended up being all good. And I just thought, I have no idea what he's speaking about, but I hope they ended okay, because PJ, even when I've thrown jokes at PJ's direction, it's always done with a little bit of jest of like, well, PJ and I are friends, so I can kind of do a little humor at his expense. I don't think I would actively talk shit to any of his guys, especially in a competition. It just seems like a not great time to do that. So anyway, there is that. Well, you asked what did opposite guy pick, and that is Sven. So let me go see what Sven sent me a little bit earlier today. Sven on this fight picked Shevchenko, so I guess it's looking really good for Lipsky. So sorry, Sven. This is so... I don't want Sven to be the opposite guy on our show. I don't know why this is so entertaining to me, but it is. You know what? This is only fair. Sven is too good at jiu-jitsu and MMA. You know what? Serves him right. That's what he gets. Galma says, Lipsky it is. Yep. No. I mean, listen, for years, we used to say Kevin was the opposite guy on over under Kevin. He had a good run where we all just kept saying like, yeah, it's not working for him. Let's just pick the opposite of whatever Kevin picks. And it became a nice gag. So you can grow out of being the opposite guy. Doesn't follow you forever. And Kevin's beaten some prominent people. Will he beat Anthony Burchak? I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll have to listen to the next episode of Verbal Tap to find that information out here, kids. I believe we'll be recording that one tomorrow. And it does look like... Are they in the cage? Yes, they are. Shevchenko, the other Shevchenko, the older sister, by the way, fighting Irina Lipsky from Brazil. Pretty identical on the stats. However, Shevchenko has a slight edge on the height. She is 36 years old. Yep, she is definitely the older sister. Interesting. Who do you guys have? Tell me in the comments before I see anything happen. Speaking of which, let me take a snapshot photo. Make sure nobody can cheat and get in on this. I see you. My BJJ is okay. God damn it. Yeah, my BJJ is okay. Trying to vote in when it's already too late. We know who you are. No! Sven just said Lipsky it is. No. Stop it, MMA Junkie. MMA Junkie keeps trying to run with this headline. They literally just tweeted it out right now, and it says the Shevchenko sisters are set to make sistery. I'll repeat that again. The Shevchenko sisters are set to make sistery, as in history, but for sisters. I had somebody chastise me for the sound cut. Sorry about that, dude. Let me just make sure it is the proper sound. Excellent. It should be the Yeti. Boom. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Fight begins on my side right now. We'll see what's going on over on this side. Shevchenko in the black trunks. Lipsky with the white. Daniel Cormier already talking about a fighter looking a little more reserved. Lipski looking nice, gets a nice combo there. Does look like she already started kind of blooding up Shevchenko in the nose. We'll see what's going on there. Oh no! Kalma just said Sven changed. Cancel Lipski. You can't do that. That's so mean. No, this is not what I want for Sven. If it was a worse person, I'd be okay with this, but he's actually a genuinely nice human being. No. Sorry, Sven. You know how the crowd works. They have a mind of their own. I can only lead them to the promised land. I can't tell them exactly how to live. Let's give this a couple more likes and shares for the fam to tune in and watch along with us. Shevchenko now using the cage nicely. Lipski up back against the cage, reverses the position. Starts to try and push her there, though. Shevchenko very, very crafty in terms of battling out of it at least once. They spin around now. Lipski with the advantage, ever so slightly. Also, I have to note, if we are going with opposite guy mentality here, the fact that Sven is LOLing at Lipski is making this a very difficult to science experiment. Because now I don't know how we're supposed to modify this. Now that he's in on it, it might be a very dangerous equation. So I'm giving you the heads up here, kids. Let me take that off here real quick. Put the banner up. Boom. She's just asleep? Oh, puppies. Oh, God. She's so pathetic. Our dog is just knocked out cold right now, by the way. Hey, we got a new super fan. Who's our new super fan? Will Johnson. Thanks, Will Johnson. We appreciate you. I don't really have an official thing for Periscope, but like this one's for you, Will. Cheers to you, bud. We appreciate you. Thanks, bud. Look at this. Garage Auto Estufa joins us. Happy to have you here. Look at this control right now. This is that nice pressure, catch wrestling pressure, but she may be in danger of giving up her back here. And in some way, almost putting herself into a twister if she's not careful with it, or at the very least, losing her back just momentarily. Yep, it would be nice to get the armbar, except her back is way too exposed here as she's going to try and turn back in. Yup, at the very least, she's going to have to aggressively turn and could still be giving up part of her posture. But kudos to her. She gets the half and looks like she could be passing here. She's going to have a minute 30 left to go in this first round. I see a couple comments. I'm going to go ahead and take those right now. It says he wrote it into existence. The die has been cast. God damn it. Rules are rules, guys. I can't rewrite how this is supposed to go. Lipski might be coming out the back. Absolutely. That's what she should have done. The only thing I think that might have been holding her up there is a little bit of that pendulum. Sometimes when you are trying to come through that back angle, it is good to use one of your legs to pendulum up. That gives you the momentum to get out of that headlock. It does not look like she did that there. And as a result of it, now just kind of has to be stuck in this position potentially for the next 45 seconds, which can be an eternity in a fight. And Shevchenko looking pretty good here. She's going to get a few shots. What's up, the young Kevin, or that young Kevin? Hope you're not eating. You have a competition tomorrow. Don't be fat. Swear to God, we've already done one Mike Perry meme. I don't need to do two. Also, good luck tomorrow. I mean, Lipski is covering up. She'll probably make it to a second round here, but this is a good opportunity for Shevchenko to get some punches in, at least to make life a little bit difficult for her. Lipski is doing just enough to kind of cup that wrist and make sure she doesn't take too much damage in these last few seconds of that first round. All right, bam. Well, should be a very good round for Shevchenko there. I'm going to check and see what else we've had from people talking to us here this evening. But yes, here's how it's going to go. We have this fight, and I believe there's one more on the prelims. Oh, no, we still have two more. We got Buckley and Wright and Moreno and Royval. So we'll do all of these, and then we'll take a short break, and then we'll be back for the main card. And that's how it goes, but we're going to be here for a little bit. Do not go anywhere. We want you guys to be with us. We're having a great time. Oh, no. I'm worried about the Sven curse. I don't think it's a real curse, we can call it. We should come up with a better name, like a nicer thing. Curse sounds a little too mean. The Sven Accord, the the Sokovia Accords. Nope, they don't like that one. All right, fair enough. Kevin should be excited. They just made a documentary about Boys State, which, by the way, both he and I attended in our youth. Boys State is where you go to enact the government. And it shows you very quickly at a young age. Yep, you didn't know that one? Wife didn't know that one. You get picked. You get a scholarship. It's fun. Yeah, but it's how you learn how they like give you situations to run a mock government, and then they basically throw haywire into it where they're like, oh, did you know your constituents aren't happy? And I'm like, what did we do? They're like, oh, you voted for this, but that means these people are affected. I'm like, this is all fake. Like, this is all pretend. Like, what the fuck do you mean? I got constituents who are mad at me. Y'all can fuck off. They're like, I don't think your constituents will like hearing you say that. Well, they can go fuck off too. All right. Shevchenko on top. And she's going to have a nice opportunity here to isolate an arm if she can. But I bet you Lipsky is going to try and be very evasive here. So instead, she'll settle for, she didn't even get to side control for a split second. For a moment, you saw Lipsky doing an excellent job of trying to get out. She has an ability to get a sweep here. If she can finish with this half guard, she might want to get a little bit more above. Yep, trying to cup up. Get back up to her knees because she still could potentially pull off the sweep here. But Shevchenko doing an excellent job of keeping her balance. And now coming up with some punches, which, by the way, I never have to worry about when I'm sweeping somebody in half guard. So I guess we all have it kind of a little easy in that regard. The Sven factor. That's a much better name. I'm kind of into that. Sven, are you okay with that? I know there's no good way to approach this with you, but I would like to have you as at least an advisor on the name that we're going to give this, especially if you're going to be, the guy that has the name involved in it. It just seems like we should clue you in on the process. Just to let you know, our fans on their poll results, they thought 64-36 in favor of Shevchenko, and thus far, they are correct. Still a lot of fight time. It says, can you repeat that? Yes. One of our fans suggested was on bear duty, which, son, congratulations. Our fans were suggesting that the way that we refer to what you pick as the opposite, instead of calling it the Sven curse, which I feel is unfair to you, we refer to it as the Sven factor. No, I'm not calling it that, Kalma. He said Svensterdramus, and that's just too, it doesn't work. Not even as a hashtag. That's what happens when you source it to the crowd. What's up, Chance? Good to see you, bud. Well, Shevchenko doing an excellent job. Lipsky almost in with a sweep there, but Shevchenko's balance not only good, but continuing to put a huge problem. This may be problematic for two reasons. Number one, you did see earlier in the night our good pal, Dan Hubler, telling you to take the money on Lipsky, not getting a great return, just far in enough. It says, I love them all as long as you don't follow my picks. Okay, well, Sven is a good answer to that. I'm into it. Also, don't love Svensterdamus. That's the worst. You can say you love them all, and I understand you're being a good guy, but just don't be completely wrong. When I squint, Shevchenko looks like Khabib. No. Rude. Well, somebody's got to be the new Khabib, right? Isn't that how this goes? We lose one Khabib, you got to get another one. Ariel Helwani is tweeting out the Knicks are on. The fuck, dude? That's not what you're beat. Stay in your lane. Our good friend Vince Cachero giving a shout out to Alan Joban. Look at that. Everybody's having a good night thus far in so far. Good for him. Well, Shevchenko now working from up top and Lipski covering up. I don't know if this is 100% enough to stop the fight, but she is not really giving any signs of trying to fight back here. It's a very particular position. And yes, the referee will stop it, which I do think technically means we have to do a cheers. And Shevchenko is making a nice series of laps around the cage. Well, Lipski did not really. That doesn't look like Khabib to you? Stop it. Terrible. Christopher says, interesting stoppage. Yeah, I don't know that I love that stoppage there, but I guess it really wasn't looking good. So what are you supposed to say? All starts with an attempt at a judo toss and not much from it. She tries to kind of invert her way through it. Nothing coming from it. What's up, David S? It says, who does Sven have next? Oh, man. Well, I mean, the audience is asking me to do it, so I guess I got to tell you. Okay, well, okay, to be fair, I don't know what rules we go into because Shevchenko was his original pick. So if I'm going by the rules off of this, I have to give him Shevchenko. So I don't know if we want to play that way, but he is right on this next one. And Sven's even chiming in now and just going, I had right. Who won the fight, says Tim. Antonia, yes, Shevchenko did get the win by stoppage, which, by the way, means we have to do a cheers for her. And so I think we're going to wait for her to do the interview, and then we'll go ahead and do a proper toast. But if you guys give us a like and a share on Facebook, we give you a toast just like we do those fighters who get stoppages, just like Shevchenko did a few seconds ago. Oh, shit! You put 1,600 on her. Wow, that's awesome, man. What did you win? What did you get off of that? Sven says, I'm going to call the next 5 wins. By opposite or by like actual? Because I tried putting in a word on that last one that said you were going to run the table on these last picks, and I'm right on that. Express with 2 other fights. Okay, I got you. It says, where's my share, Raf? Bro, come on. Oh, so you went for both Shevchenko's and the main event. So I'm guessing you probably went Figueroa then, right? Okay. 1,600 on those 3. All right. I see that. Where's your cheers? Didn't I do a cheers for you? Yeah, I guess I didn't. I thought I did. Wait, let's think about this. I did Dane. I did Woods. I did a hat acknowledgement to somebody who became a super fan. I guess I really didn't do yours, Christopher James Velez. All right. Well, listen, this is why you guys are here. But this is a very interesting story, so I have to hear this first. $2,700 is the winning money. Those are the favorites. So I could see how you got to get more bang for your buck. I can understand why you would be vested in this fight. And the other Shevchenko, who looks very favorable to win that as well. And Figueroa, it's hard to bet against him, man. Alex Perez is a real big underdog in this fight. So I'm not exactly sure, even as a friend of the show, how he would be able to pull off a win, but we'll see. And you asked, did you? I would probably say the answer is no. I'll do one now. Just, I want to hear what she has to say, and then I'll take care of you. Just to make sure, yes, we do give cheers, apparently, to everybody but Christopher James Velez. Oops. But we'll take care of him. As long as people tell me, then I do make sure to give them their love. My God, my dog is so pathetic. Producer wife Kelly, should I put this on air? Okay. All right. Joe Rogan is talking with Antonia right now. Let's see what she has to say. And Joe Rogan giving major props to her grappling. She's very happy. Surprise. She wanted it so much, trained so hard. So she's also bringing up the quote unquote sistery MMA junkie. Hey, I didn't do that one. We're mocking them. That was the intention in my voice. I think Joe was asking, was there pressure to fight first? I don't know if that's really a thing, but okay. And she said it was good pressure. So if you're going to have any kind of pressure, get the good kind. And the pressure motivates you. All right. I think we know where this is going. In the meantime, for those of you watching on our main broadcast, that's a photo of my dog sleeping. That's Lucy, the French bully, just being a ridiculous, pathetic little puppy. Look at this. I'll show you guys that on the Instagram. Look at that pathetic dog. She's the most. That's producer wife Kelly is texting me as I'm doing the show. So she's saying blah, 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 improve as a fighter. I'm very blessed, blah, blah, blah. So we'll just go ahead and do this for her. This cheers goes on out to Antonia Shevchenko. Hey, congratulations. I know it is difficult to fight on a card where your sister is also going to be on there, but you did it. You had the good pressure. You used it to your advantage, and your grappling looked pretty sick. So cheers to you, Shevchenko, number one. Much appreciated for a great fight finish there. Very much enjoyed it. All right. Christopher James Velez. Let's do this one. Christopher James Velez is actually the other Shevchenko that you don't really hear too much about. And unfortunately, he couldn't get on this card because he could have also made sistery if he had joined on. They didn't really want to run with the brotherly one because they were like, nah, that's boring. But if he had actually gotten on, he would have been the third person to have made the Shevchenko name proud here tonight. So cheers to you, Christopher James Velez Shevchenko. Wish you got on. Gulp. I like that Sven comes in. Cute. Yes. The dog is super pathetic and ridiculous. That is her job. A couple weeks ago, we had people yelling at me to bring her on. And I'll tell you this right now. As long as she's sleeping like this right now, not happening. But yes, she had a fun day of playing at the PARK for a little bit. And she's enjoying her nap time right now. So we're making sure that she is good and feeling it. It says, I'm sorry, how many more cards will Joe Rogan commentate? That's a great question, man. It does feel weird seeing them there today because we've seen, 2 months without Joe Rogan? It feels like an eternity. Feels like they're prepping to go on without him. But the fact that he moved out to Texas recently does make it seem like he's probably going to have a renewed sense of something. Like, that's the middle-age crisis he was going through. He was like, man, California's crazy. I need to do something. I need to move. And I was like, no, midlife crisis. I see you, Joe Rogan. Yeah, okay, bye. And it's fine. We'll live. No, a lot of people were like, a lot of people are moving to Texas. I was like, no, Joe Rogan moved to Texas. They were like, no, there's an exodus happening. I was like, cool, what are the figures? I don't know, man. But Joe moving. Ooh, Kwaikalma says live Sven pick. Can you really make that happen? Can I just ask Sven who he's going to go for? Are we just going to bypass the rules that are coming on here? I feel like we're supposed to go with the sanctity of this because he said right on here. So I feel like we have to stay with his right pick, even if it proves to be wrong. So that's a much better pun than sistery. Wright and Buckley have the same unique styles in striking. See, I mean, like, he knows what he's talking about. This is why this is fascinating. It defies all logic. I promise you. If you ever come to his gym, Strength and Mobility, just talk fights with him and then understand why this is so baffling. Because, like, he'll have a great conversation on these things. So, are you sticking with this one, Sven? Because apparently audience members want to know. Maybe they're waiting to go put a wager on there. They're live Vegas cards. I like that Kalma's asking, like, yo, can he get that pick in real quick? Spare me. No. What is up? Reubs 19. Oh, spar me. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, if you roll a Sven, you're in for some trouble, my friends. He's not an easy roll. Worked last time? Question mark. Yeah, Jordan Wright though, man. This kid's something. I feel like he could have a big upshot here tonight. I think Buckley. It's going to be hard to replicate that weird Tekken kick that he did in that last fight, but he does have power in his hands. The hard part is just completely neglecting the fact that, yes, so does Jordan. And Jordan taking this fight is amazing. So I'm very much looking forward to what's happening there. Tim, I hope wherever you are out there, friend, you will get some return on your fight picks tonight, but you are already off to a good start. Let's go ahead and share this one on my profile on my Facebook, so that way people know we're watching these last two fights. Join us for some UFC 255 prelims right now. Well, bam. Well, I guess, Kalma, I should ask you, who do you have in this fight pick tonight? I will leave it up to you guys out in the Twitter, blogosphere, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. I don't really know. I'm not in charge of that. You barely could come up with a good name for Sven, so I don't know that I trust you to come up with a good name for any of this. Retweet, and we move to our next fight. So it appears after the break, we will see Wright and Buckley. It's going to be a very weird fight. And again, Jordan Wright with that finish in his last venture out. A lot of power in that doctor stoppage all over the place. Buckley becoming an overnight sensation. He talked about getting pulled over, I think, in an interview. And the guy who was pulling him over goes, "Hey, you're that guy who knocked that guy out." And he was like, "I sure am. Do you not want to give me a ticket now? Because that would be great." So, it'd be interesting to see how these two gents work and play off of their newfound notoriety. Of course, Jordan trains over here with a bunch of our friends. My good friend Colin trains with him. He also trains out with Kevin Crane and those guys. So I've heard great things about him. The word on the street, don't quote me on this, is that he's a giant nerd. You could kind of get that from some of the talk that he's had on this, but I've heard he's a huge anime fan, etc., etc. Christopher James Velez being the first to chime in before the fights by stating, "I've got Buckley." Okay. Going to completely disregard what I was saying there, but that's okay. That is your note. They're saying Joaquin Buckley, new viral sensation. You can tell how much money they're pouring into him. The UFC wants him to win. Let's put it that way. That we know for sure, for sure. All right, let me make sure I get a snapshot of people putting in their picks right now so that people cannot come in late on it. Oh, looks like the polls are going to start expiring on their own, which thank God. Yep, that's already the main card. Perfect. Because I put them on about, what is it? About 24 hours ago is when I put them on, and they expire after 24 hours. So let's just give you an idea of what people thought would happen on this one. On our archive over on this side, the results on this one are as follows. For Buckley and Wright, 70% of respondents said that they are going for Buckley, while only 30% are going for Wright on this fight. And we have another person, Aaron K7, came in to vote for people after the fights were done. Look at that. These goons. It's like, dude, we can see that you voted after the fact. All right. Who do you all have? Chime in. Let us know. I am excited for this fight. I'm also excited for Moreno versus Royval. So they are going to end strong, and then we go to the main pay-per-view. And that should be interesting. I think a few of these fights were on the undercard actually have more of my attention. Shogun fighting again. He was saying earlier this week that he doesn't feel the pressure or need to retire. Though I think the rest of us are kind of like, can you think about it a little bit though? Because like it wouldn't hurt if you did. And you see Buckley about to enter the cage right now. Let's see how this plays out. Joaquin Buckley fighting out of Fight Spirit Stats, or he's Fight Spirit Stats. Is that what they called him? That's a weird name for something. Fighting Spirit Stats. I thought that was going to be where his team was supposed to be put there. 1 of 4 knockouts by spinning back kick to the head in UFC history. 8 wins by knockout. 4 first round finishes. So just saying, he does have a nice, impressive little history there in the UFC thus far in. Him and Jordan give a nice fist bump to one another. Jordan coming in 11-0. Yeah, these next 2 fights are going to be fire. Finishing this fight, right? Man, that's what the money says, because both these guys have finishes on their records. So that would be the presumptive thought here, right? I don't know. Jordan Wright also at 6'2", dude. And Buckley giving up just a little bit of weight. I think that's kind of where he just landed at 182.5. I thought that was really odd. At first, I was like, did he miss weight? And I was like, no, he's just under. All right, let's see how it plays out. Bruce Buffer doing the announcements. Herb Dean on the call on this one. Bruce Buffer's suit. We should talk about that. Looks like one of those magic eyes, right? Like we're in agreement on that. Just stare at it for a little bit and see if your eyes don't get a little transfixed for a few seconds there. Fighting out of Los Angeles. Wasn't even sure if he was going to put a little bit northern or central California, but gets a nice fist bump from Bruce Buffer. Hypnotizing indeed. That's what I'm saying, dude. Just look at it. Look at that. He's the -220 favorite in this fight. All right, we'll see how this one plays out, guys. I'm excited. I got to root for Wright, though. I can't tell you he's going to win with major certainty. They're going to do another look at the fight. Man, they really want you to remember this one is viral. So far, already being pushed as knockout of the year, which that I don't disagree with, but that was about 6 weeks ago. So it's very odd that they would show you the highlight finish in such a way after they've done the fight announcement on the names, but they're taking a break to do that, and we go live into the center of the octagon. Herb calls it to a beginning right now. All right, already off to a good start. Buckley reverses the position over on one Jordan Wright. Has 1 underhook at the very least, possibly 2. Yes, he's dragging him down, but Wright looked like he was trying to lead that one. Going for a little bit of a knee to the face there. Doesn't connect. Oof, both of these guys are already going to start swinging with a lot of power. Just looking at the size differentium, though, Jordan looks so tall, and that extension on those leg kicks are going to be interesting to see. So instead, you're going to see Buckley going in like a Tasmanian devil and just trying to get on the inside very quickly. A couple good little punches there to the midsection. Now just that last punch, well, a little uppercut there did not look super great. Now, Wright taking his time. Almost looked like he was trying to punch him with the shoulder there. Buckley looks for the takedown, almost gets it, almost reverses to take the back. Instead, gets right back to putting his head pressure on Wright, who starts fighting away. Even Errol Hawani right now just tweeted out, viral sensation is fighting. Is that part of what people are supposed to say on this one? Is that what they have to continuously do it? Ooh, Buckley getting in some good shots there. Getting Wright a little bit out of his element for just a split second. Wright goes in with the cross and gets a nice counter from Buckley there. I can't tell if Wright is just ever so slightly swollen on his right side of his face, or if that's just the way the kid looks. Nice high kick by Buckley. Good on him. Oof. Buckley takes him straight back over to the cage again. Right next to the banners, which would get some really nice coverage for their bang for their buck right now. Good double underhooks here. I bet he's probably going to try and drag him down once again. Hard part is it does look like Wright has good balance, so it does look like it's very difficult. My God, Buckley is grabbing over top. I don't think he can do that. I think that was what he got told there by one Herb Dean. What is up? Height tied end. Leg punches. Dude, that's what that was, bro. Punching that thigh is always like when he does the hammer fist to the thigh is always like, you know what? If it works, it's like giving someone a Charlie horse or a dead leg right there. Sometimes you got to get him in where you can, man. It's interesting because Wright should have the advantage on a lot of these kicks, but Buckley's been able to get some really good extension on his kicks as well. Since Buckley has been ducking in and out, throwing hard shots. And yes, he has been scoring very well with the kicks thus far in. Ooh! Looked like for a split second there, Wright caught one. Every time I look down, it looks like one of them is going to advance and they start getting in a good shot on the other. And it's almost like they switch. The cameraman needs to refocus this. Rack focus, bro. That's so you can tell every once in a while. I'm like, nah, bro, you let that go out of frame. 52 seconds left in round number 1. Jordan Wright goes for another kick, doesn't connect with it, instead ducks out of it. I don't think he wants to stand square in front of Buckley. I can't tell if Jordan's maybe working with a little bit of an injury here. Oof. Every time he extends those arms out of the clinch, it does look like Buckley is able to maybe start getting in a couple good uppercuts. Yeah. Just looking at some of the movement that Wright is trying to do here. Ooh, he is put up against. This is really not a good place that he wants to be. Ooh, does look like Buckley knocks him down for a split second here. He's absorbing some of these. There's only 7 seconds left. He's now switching over to a guillotine, of which Jordan Wright is going to be able to barely make it to a second round there. Saved by the bell. Wright looking like, man, I do not want to entertain any of that in another round. Buckley is definitely going to get the win on that very first round just based on those last few seconds. I see a note here that says, wow, and Buckley. Sven, barely. Yeah, indeed, man. It's dicey, dude. Well, it's an interesting, if not kind of unpredictable fight. I think we're going to definitely be working our way through some of what we're about to see here, guys. We're off to an interesting fight. Jordan Wright needs to be very, very cautious of staying in that clinch for too long with Buckley. Buckley looks like he has a lot of fight experience being in that position, staying in there and getting that uppercut there in very odd angles. And I think I was trying to mention it a little bit more, but every time he's got the arms and it's just, he starts separating out of it. He just gets left there for a split second and gets popped a couple times, and it makes you very nervous for him. And already right off the top, you're seeing Buckley start to lead in, a couple of jabs to establish the distance, right? He's already starting to back him up. Ooh, he has knocked him clean out, and you do see one Jordan Wright take one clean. Oof. It's a rough one to watch, man. Wright's a good kid. That is unfortunate. Buckley has power in his arms, man. Let's look at that again. Nice. Jab. Hook. Hook. Oof. Yeah, that was enough. That'll do it. It says, wow, saved. Finish. Finish indeed. That does mean we will be cheersing him. And then you do see a quick cover up from the kid. I'm going to hold on these for a while. This is a hard one to eat in front of people on the camera, unless I'm on a certain kind of show. But yes, I have already been given wings for this evening. Look at that, Sven, 1 for 5. Do we put that one with an asterisk, though? I'm still not sure that's how we're supposed to call that one. On your card that you sent me, yes, you are 1 for 5, so I will say that. Eek. It says L sorry. Ben Folks tweeted out, that knockout by Joaquin Buckley made me actually oof out loud. Well, you and all of us, dude. Shevchenko, my only win so far. Yeah. The hard part that we're trying to figure out here, though, is you did switch it in the comment section. So, like, that's where the confusing thing is to everybody on the Sven-ness. Thanks, producer Kelly, Dane Donovan says, for the wings. Yeah, the hard part is eating wings while doing this is not really the easiest of things. This is much more on point. So this is pizza and a little bit of garlic. So I trained today. I earned that. I can also have people vouch for me, so I'm just saying. Sven deserves a cheers. I think so. I do want to hear what Buckley has to say on this one. So we'll give him a moment, and then we'll do a cheers for him in a moment. I don't know if Sven deserves that much of a cheers, so he should get a top 15 guy. I still think we should return back to that idea. Yeah. Respect paid between both participants. Almost knee barred you. Yeah, almost. God damn it. So close. So angry at that. I looked at that too. I looked at that footage and I was like, God damn it, Sven. It's like the second time I've almost had that too. Soon enough, I'll land it. Dane Donovan says next pick Sven. Like, Koma has no time for any of this interplay. It's like no time for us being like, well, Sven's a good guy. He's like, cool. What's his next pick? I've got my bookie on the phone. I need to make this shit happen right now, Raph. Can producer Kelly feed you guys the wings? You're working and you don't need your fingers all messy. No, I don't do that. And no, she is not. She's saying that off air herself. No, I don't really run that kind of thing with her. That's not our dynamic, but so whenever you're doing commentary for the telestrator, it's very weird television language to say he does this right here and then he does this right here because we don't know where here is. So DC, chill the fuck out. Strength and mobility, AK Sven says, I picked Moreno, so Royval should win. It said, did the burger come before the last UFC fight last time? It did. It did. We got it in time there, which was terrible for our friend. I think it was Don Stoner that was cutting weight on that one. Felt bad for like a split second. Says, I love the DC Madness breakdown. I do too, but it's just always so ridiculous. So Joaquin Buckley is basically saying, like, I think I just validated why the UFC is putting so much hype into me. And he said he didn't want this boy to take his shine. And Joe Rogan doing the right journalistic approach here, asking, hey, man, you had him really wrecked in that end of that first round. Dude, this lighting on Joe looks terrible. I don't know if you guys can see this, but when they return back to Joe in a second here, I want you to see how bad the lighting is where he looks very ghoulish. Oh, Joe Rogan's already asking. He's like, well, James Krause is the guy who's talking shit about you. But again, look at the lighting on Joe. He looks like he's playing death in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Producer wife Kelly says that's how Joe looks right now. I think normally there's a little bit better lighting when he's in the octagon where it looks a little less pronounced. But against a projected background with the cage like that and just the emphasis on him, it looks bad. You asked Christopher James Velez about the James Krause beef. Yes, James Krause. A few weeks ago, you may recall he was fighting. He ended up saying something to the effect of, yeah, I don't know why people are talking about Joaquin Buckley so much. Yeah, it's a great knockout, but the guy is not liked. He's not very well appreciated in our neighborhood. Nobody likes that guy. And he put it out there, and he was saying that in his post-fight speech. So imagine winning a fight and then just kind of talking about that and then putting that energy out there. So when you do see him say, I'm not even going to say his name, and Joe Rogan goes, I will, James Krause, that's who said it. It's both the right and very right thing to do in that situation, because it does seem like they're trying to push that. James Krause, as Sven was saying, if he should get a top 15 guy, why not? And he's already picked his date. He's already said, listen, put me on at Fight Island. Make that thing happen there. So there you have it, guys. Tough loss for the young Jordan Wright, but hopefully he comes back stronger than ever. So with our next fight about to head up in a second, I will ask you guys to tell us who you have in this next one between Brandon Moreno and Brandon Royval. It's the fight of the Brandons. Wah, bam. Question mark. And I'm mostly asking you this so I can conveniently take a bite out of this garlic bread, which actually looks really good right now. Look at that. I got a Royval vote. Ben Folks tweets out, I gotta say, there's something about a beef so intense that you won't even say the other person's name, telling us to go look it up, making us do homework to crack the case, turning the audience into co-conspirators and whatnot. Agree. What's up, Shango? I have to agree with that. There is something very funny about saying, like, look at it, Google it. Y'all go Google it. I'm not doing shit for you. But here's the good news. You had me. I already knew it. You didn't have to Google it. In fact, Velez was the one that just said, Raph, what does he mean? And I had it ready for you. Tell me another show that does that for you. At the ready. Does not exist. Flats or drums? Are you asking for, how are those wings? I'm not going to do the wings right now. I cannot get through that on air. Like, there's no, unless I'm on Hot Ones. And by the way, I would have to do a Rocky-like montage for Hot Ones. I will tell you this, though. Producer wife Kelly, it was very funny because we watch all of those. I'm not really a spice person. I like spice a little bit. And I told her, you would probably be so worried for me if I was on that show. And she goes, oh no, I would laugh at you the whole time. And to be fair, well, that might be too much. I'm okay for now. Do you mind grabbing me the lime that's in there? Yeah. It says yes. But flats or drums, it would be drumsticks, obviously. It says he should have said look into it. They probably look into it. She's too good to you. She really is. I do appreciate her. So it is very nice. Well, you don't get to say that. I say that about you. That's how that works. The whatchamacallit. Yeah, no. The drink.
Oh, that.
Spoiled podcaster. I'll tell you this much. That hashtag won't go far because there are not too many spoiled podcasters. Most of us live a very, very simple life, my friends. Thank you. Appreciate that. Nice round of applause for producer wife Kelly, providing all the food and the love. Yay. And now, no, puppy. She's now, oh no. Babe, that's the meanest. My wife is literally just dumbbelling the puppy. Does producer wife Kelly have her own show? No. You would think. It's kind of weird that I'm not even the most popular podcast in our house. She loves My Favorite Murder, and if there's any crime podcast, odds on favorite, she listens to it. But yes, thank you, producer wife Kelly. Though she would be quite good. We did say for years when I was first starting to watch UFC fights regularly that she should do a picture-in-picture feed for the female audiences or the wives or spouses that have to watch these shows when all of the guys are too busy watching it. That's like, ooh, I really like his tattoo. He's great. Anyway, welcome back to Talking Fights with the Ladies. And I still think that's a genius idea. So one of these days, if we get some true money in that, we'll have a nice little picture. It says, what would she do if she had one? Crime, true crime. Yeah, you don't think so? You don't like to work with what you truly love? Oh, yeah, French Bulldog one would actually be pretty good. Like a dog podcast would probably do very well for her. She mostly runs the @Lucy the French Bully account. So she doesn't do a ton of posts, which gets a lot of yelling at me. But she's always like, at the first when she goes, oh, you should just run the account. I was like, I've got a few. I don't need to do that on my spare time too. But what would she do if she had one? Whatever it is, it would be very funny because that is one of the benefits of doing a show like this. Is she'll throw in her one-liners, but she is very, very funny. You have to be. I wasn't going to marry somebody who's not funny, so that's it. But if she had one, I would support it, and I would do my best to always put it out there. She'd get complimentary plugs on these shows. That's one of the benefits of marriage. Being like, by the way, tune into my wife's show later today. All right, very excited for this one. If we go back to what we had a little bit earlier, I believe Dan Hewler was encouraging you to take the action on this one as well. But what action are you asking that he told you to take? Well, if you missed it a little bit earlier, he was telling you to take Royval at -155, bet 5 to win 323. So he's taking it at 3.5 plus points. So I don't know. I don't know if that's where you're feeling. I am leaning Royval as well. Moreno is a tough son of a bitch. So it should be interesting. He's walking out like a true he's actually walking out like a goth kid right now. So a little nervous where his mentality might be. Moreno, also a combat jiu-jitsu vet. Always somebody who is down for these competitions, but it is nice to see MMA fighters kind of, dip their feet into the grappling rounds every once in a while. Oh, it says Shevchenko needs to win, gents. True. We need producer wife Kelly shirts. Sure. Yeah, I think people would like that. You know, maybe I should have a grappling hour shirt before I have producer wife Kelly shirt, just in order of operations. No? Wow. We don't even get to the branding of the show. It's just like producer wife Kelly is very popular on the show. It said, so did Sven, though. Well, Sven did pick Moreno, but he did say he picked Moreno so Royval should win. So he's kind of given you the okay to shit on his picks today. Also, he's not had a really good record, if we're being honest. But he's a very nice human being. Also, go train in strength mobility if you ever come out to California. Top notch. Unlike his picks. Which, you know, we're rooting for them. The emoji. Oh, you just put a poop emoji in response to his own picks. Yeah, dude, I know, man. But Sven owns it. There's a lot of the guys, though, who when I see their poll results and their picks and they get it wrong and they're like, I did pretty well. And I was like, you didn't do that well. You know what I mean? Like, your fight picks are actually pretty bad. And he does extend that invitation to you guys. He literally just said in the comment section on the Instagram saying, yes, come train. It's a very, very nice facility. Also, it's just more than just training and boxing and striking and all that sort of stuff. He also has a great facility for lifting, works with all different types of bodies and different types of needs. I've seen like some of his stability and strength training is top notch. So he's a very well-rounded coach. But you can hear that from me. All right, let's put up the banner so we can say which fight we are on for those of you watching. What's up, Steven? I got your fight picks. I haven't even seen how they're doing thus far yet. I'll do that later on, either tonight or tomorrow. But I appreciate you coming in, bud. Hope to see you tomorrow. All right, I like this. Kai's coming in saying he's got Royval. Such a fucking crazy thing. All right, we're already off to the races here. Moreno in the green trunks, Royval in the blue. Off to the races he does. You see Moreno kind of get the best of Royval for a split second here. This is going to be a very, very interesting fight. Both these gents want knockout finishes. And Royval keeping a very loose posture, almost kind of like leaning out of some of these punches on occasion. Making the hands work a little bit to try and distract, reminiscent of a very young Anderson Silva type of hand movement there. And of course, Moreno staying very classic, eats one, but might get a takedown. He does get it. He secures it, and he's going to start working on a pass here. That body lock coming in a clutch moment there. We're going to see one. Brand Moreno uses grappling. Royval very quickly gets to a guard, tries to get the arms in a good position, kicks him, and then immediately stands up. Very interesting to see how this one's playing out, guys. Moreno leading it himself now, changing some of the angles mid-punch. Royval takes a second, backs on up. And look at some of just the force that Moreno's putting into some of these. I can't even call them hooks. They're just really odd punches that he's putting out right now. Good inside leg kick by Royval. Again, if you've seen Royval's previous fights, you know that this is the kind of fight style that you're going to get with him. Or, as MMA Fighting says, Royval not afraid to throw spinning shit. Now Moreno's got his back. He has a very, very nicely modified back control that you do see reminiscent with a number of jiu-jitsu practitioners here. Of course, as we were mentioning, with his combat jiu-jitsu experience, he is somebody who has very solid jiu-jitsu here, so do not sleep on Moreno's ability to get a choke from back here. There's 228, so there's going to be a lot of pressure on Royval to get his hips out of danger here. And if we're being so honest, I almost feel like Moreno's trying to get a twister here. He's slowly losing that control by the second, but he may not lose control of the back altogether here. Of course, that twister is a fan favorite for all things Edgy Braj. Although instead right now he's got a good attempt on getting a rear naked. This is just coming in as a face crank, and he keeps adjusting it, but it does look like it's slowly starting to just put pressure on Royval, who now sees it turning into a little bit of a spine lock. This is looking nasty, but in trying to fight it, he may be giving up part of his neck a little bit more. He is getting stretched out in a way. He 2-on-1s the hand. Moreno gets another stab at going in on this rear naked choke. He pulls down 2-on-1, doing an excellent job of fighting it out. What's up, Leandro? What is up, Jits Mom? Back into that almost twister-like position, but he's not going to be able to finish it here. As you see, Royval doing an excellent job of trying to get out. He needs to get more distance here, as Moreno does an excellent job of scooping him back in once again. Leandro, I need you to stop looking like you're a soccer player in all of your Instagram videos, bro. You can only be talented at one sport. I won't have you being good at two. As we continue watching this footage here happening, it's 56 seconds left to go here, and yet we have not seen Moreno loosen any part of that grip. Royval has to concentrate on getting out. This could almost be a banana split here too, and a great attempt here. You're going to see Royval almost slip out to see if maybe he could make a knee bar. I'm sorry, knee bar happened there for a split second, but it's moving very quickly. Now he's fully in guard. He is trying to isolate it down. Almost thought about going to attack the leg there. Moreno's in on something, but not quite there. Ooh, nice way to start trying to exit on that knee bar right there. Once again, Moreno's showing beautiful competency as he looks up at the clock and starts getting in some rabbit punches here to make things very hectic. As you are seeing, the ref is going to have a hard time trying to call this a fight finish. However, you are seeing, oh shit, with 1 second left to go. Oh, fuck, Royval is injured there. That is an unfortunate finish, but Moreno beating the odds and justifying a nice name to himself with his jiu-jitsu prowess. We will have to wait and see exactly what the injury was there, but Jesus Christ, that was intense. Props and respect on the name of one Brandon Moreno. It says, you have had ample time to take us to the Grappling Hour's Faithful's money. We've moved on to producer wife Kelly. Boo! I mean, technically it all comes back to me anyway, but I'll get what you're saying. I had a note here. Come on, Royval. It says, who does this exchange tire more? Well, clearly we have an answer on that one right now. But let's hear what the injury is here. Oh, his shoulder was out in this position is essentially what happened there. Oh, Royval's coach popped the shoulder right back into place. Ooh. Ugh, what a fucking finish. So much respect on Moreno's name. It says, oh shit, what happened? Yeah, I think we got a little bit more of an answer there. And it says his wrist, no, his shoulder. We do understand that a little bit better there right now. My God. Oh, they just showed the shoulder popping back into place. And it says hospital for special surgery at the top. That's not the branding you want to see when that shit happens. Oh, he still looks like he's in pain. It's almost like it's kind of numbing itself back into place. And you can tell he looks very, very affected by this. And as he should, it is an unfortunate end. But we were getting in a very, very solid fight there. Says, dude, I love that they showed the shoulder get popped in. Yeah, not for my taste. He's still kind of holding and nursing onto it. We'll have to see if he is okay. Hopefully, Brandon Royval gets a nice speedy recovery there. But Moreno, all props deserved to that young man. Oh, he's got Tres de la Fuentes. Good for him, man. That was the fucking shit song, dude. I love that fucking song. Eek. Well, Sven never do that to me. Yikes. Christopher James Velez, glad they were able to do it. His shoulder looked like a partial dislocation. I don't understand how it happened. Yeah, I might have to look at the tape again a little bit more. I'm wondering if it's maybe just the control that Moreno had from that weird side control position, almost that back. That was disgusting. Yikes. Brandon Moreno is now unbeaten in 4 fights since returning back to the UFC. We will see if they will give him a quick interview. 6:48. They do have the time, and I do think he is a rising star. He definitely does a lot of stuff for the UFC on the Espanol versions of this. Ben Folks definitely tweeted out, I was just sitting here. Oh, I hope we get to watch someone get his shoulder pop back in tonight. Good times. Oh. Maybe that was that bad landing, but it does look like it's. Yeah. Well, let's hear what Moreno has to say. Moreno's swag, though, is off the charts. He says he works very hard all day to fight just like this. And Joe Rogan is basically saying, you know, you'll be watching the title fight very closely since you are right up there in contention. Okay. Look at that. Moreno's like, I don't need a title. I just need to be the best. I can buy a title on the UFC store. That's fair. And Joe Rogan is giving him props and saying you had a great performance against a truly, truly impressive fighter out here tonight. And Joe's now asking, did you know something was wrong? And Moreno's like, I don't know what happened. I just knew I had to act fast. And he said it sounds like he could maybe hear him scream something a little bit. And Joe Rogan is now giving him props and saying you will most likely be in that title contention. And he says, you definitely need to watch my next fight. So good for him. Oh, man. This kid, I do appreciate him. I've always wanted to interview him when we do those combat jiu-jitsu coverage. So, tough one for, let me see here. Referee Mark Goodard clarifies he stopped the contest due to Royval's inability to defend strikes. After it was called, Royval revealed to Goddard it was his shoulder that popped out, but the fight was stopped on sequence of events, not specifically for injury. Cool. Okay, that's good to know. All right, kids, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a momentary pause. We're going to take a moment to go ahead and collect ourselves, take a few minutes of break, use a bathroom break, do whatever it is you need to do. We're going to come back. We're going to regroup for the main card. You do not want to go anywhere for that. We'll be back here on all at Grappling Hour properties. That means YouTube, Facebook, and then also on the Verbal Tap Instagram. We're going to be here all night, so do not make any other plans. Stay with us. We are going to have a blast. We have 5 amazing fights, sort of. But even if you're not going to buy the pay-per-view, we'll still walk you through it. My name is Rafa Esparza. You're watching the Grappling Hour. You're watching Verbal Tap Cast. We appreciate you guys. We will see you back in about 10-minute time. And it says, why do you have normal looking ears? Thought grapplers had Deadpool ears. Well, first of all, it's all genetic. And second of all, rude to say that to a fellow grappler. So I'll see you on the mats, Calma. Anyway, we'll see you guys back in a few minutes. Peace.